Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 7. 7 episodes of Banter.
What are you guys like watching 7 episodes?
What the fuck? Like, what is happening? We didn't think we'd get to make 3, let alone 7.
Yeah, I remember like going for episode 3 and you were like, I think we've ran out of guests. I'm like, we have loads of badgers yet. It's like, yeah, but they're not available.
There's no one available, although... And that's what leads us to the guests you're going to meet today. No, I'm joking.
Wow.
So we got to do our usual shout outs and stuff. So Baz, if you want to kick it off with the one you...
Yeah, so first shout out we wanted to do was for Matt Kavanagh and Matt Blaney, whose film 347 just won Best Student Film at the Headline International Film Festival. The one.
Pretty sure that's the one you said?
Yeah, over in Canada. So big shout out to them. We've seen 347 a couple of times.
I saw it at a little cinema. Loved it. Thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, it's such a well done kind of.
Really good VFX in it. Really blown away by the VFX. Those are the best VFX when you're like, what? Those were VFX.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Matt the other night at Little Cinema, and he was like, Matt did so much visual effects. I was like, I know, man. And I was like, and it wasn't until I seen the reel I realized how much was actually VFX.
And how much wasn't. Yeah, I know. So a massive shout out to the two Matts.
The Matts. Well, technically it's Matthew and Matt.
Yeah.
But the Matts. I like the Matts. I like them both.
Second shout out goes out for if you have a subscription to Shudder UK, which is a higher subscription, so streaming service.
Streaming service. Yeah. That's how they should market it.
I'll give you that one for free. Contact me, hit me up.
Shudder, we're available for sponsorship. We have an open segment.
They are currently running a show called The Core, which is awesome. It's hosted by Mickey Keating, and it goes through like different horror films and breaks down stuff about them. But the past week's episode had the Soska sisters, who were good friends of the Badgers, on it, and it was all about penectomies and ripping off dicks, and it was fantastic. Fantastic.
There is visual demos I've heard about, so
there's an amazing, and Jim Ojala does an incredible job in the effects, and it's just Jen Soska just painting a dick and looking really happy.
I'm nearly positive I had to dream about that once.
But yeah, every week the Core is just getting better and better. It's such a good, for a streaming service to work, you've got to have killer exclusives that you can't get anywhere else, and The Core is Shudder's killer exclusive if you're a horror fan. Previous week had Simon Barrett, who wrote You're Next and The Guest, as well as Blair Witch and a bunch of other stuff. Really good.
Blair Witch?
Yeah, all about the art of tension and how you ramp things up. Great scene involving a bunch of blenders. Definitely check it out. That's my second shout out. And third shout out is the one Film Trash.
Third shout out is to a buddy of ours. You may get to meet him at some point, called Mikey Casey, who's just dropped
garbage.
Human garbage. I didn't say that. Who just dropped a new trailer for his first feature film, Results Night, which is
stars the inimitable Derek Williams. The incredible Jack
I don't know what
Hayes,
inedible means.
The
Inedible.
Stunning Graham Gill.
Your man O'Regan.
He's the only thing that lets the film.
If you want to find out more about Brian O'Regan, you can watch the first episode of the podcast.
He doesn't even. That's not that what it takes.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to see an early screening Results Night. I don't know how much has changed since I would have seen that, but when I saw it, I laughed a few times, so that was positive.
I to this day have not seen it, even though Mikey has sent it to me several times.
That's because you don't ever open any links Mikey sends you.
I'm always afraid of what's on it. It
might not be Results Night.
It's like Results Night, but underneath is like Pornhub.com. It's like, why?
Yeah, and it's always cosplay porn. Results Night is becoming available online on December 8th. So by the time you are watching this, it'll be somewhere on the internet. So search Results Night Mikey Casey, and it'll be on Metacritic. It'll have a score of at least 12%. So at most 12%.
You'll find it on Sad Boy Reviews, where it gets 2.5 Sad Boys.
Speaking of film trash, The Three Don'ts is where we're friend.
Smooth segue.
Tell me about it, right? I know our market. So The Three Don'ts has most recently, we picked up 5 awards at the Ingenuity Film Festival back in October.
Yeah,
and then
buddy.
as of like 4 days ago from this, so today we're recording on the 2nd of December,
Nice.
2017.
Remember how you said you were going to do that right at the start?
Right off the top of the show. It's like 3-4 minutes in, it's fine.
8.
Sleep child. But yeah, it picked up the Best Action Feature Award at Bloodstained Film Festival Shanghai.
In Shanghai, of all fucking
A
places.
bunch of lads kicking the head off each other on a riverbank in Glenlara.
It's literally like the land of the raid gave us Best Action Feature, so
It's pretty impressive.
Very
We've also had
impressive.
our first big review from Starburst Magazine. They gave it 9 out of 10, said all kinds of wonderful things about it, said it was way better than Results Night.
yeah. They also asked what's results night.
Okay, I think we can definitely lead into our guest introduction here.
Speaking of results night, I'd like to introduce the guest to my right, which is the director, writer, and are you in results night?
Cameos.
Yeah, any cameos in results night? Mr. Mikey Casey. Woo!
Hi, I'm Mr. Mikey Casey.
Mikey Kaysen.
Mikey Casey, yes.
Mikey casing the joint to see what we got.
You let him in.
I didn't let him in, he followed.
And introducing to my left, we have the star of lots of stuff, not just Results Night. He's been in several plays and all kinds of wonderful theatrical stuff, as well as starring alongside Jack Hayes in the feature film opus that is Results Night. Mr. Derek Williams.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing, lads?
And together we
Tiny
actually
taps,
make,
yeah.
together me and Derek actually make up indie rock sensation Picture This.
It's true, I saw them in the car. What the hell?
We're gonna rack up the views if it's that Picture This in the title.
And yeah, we can kind of get away with actually just say your ham sandwich instead. Come on.
Teenage girls, you have the same demographic.
Did you see about hand sandwich? That girl.
Ham sandwich. Ham sandwich.
She didn't know she was pregnant.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
She was out on tour and everything, and then like all of a sudden she's like, I don't feel well. It's like poop baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lead singer in Hand Sandwich, she just
Yeah.
had a baby randomly.
And while on tour, she was like drinking and partying and everything. Never realized she was pregnant.
What
She
a monster.
yeah.
That dedication to the set.
Stage babies.
Yeah, that's like a
Sounds
full
like a dark
thing.
gritty remake of like Muppet Babies. Sesh.
Remember in the 80s when they had the thing like the crack baby thing? Like, oh, all these kids are going to grow up addicted to crack?
Is that why?
That was
you
like
were
in
addicted
Florida.
to the sex? Because
No,
your
I think
parents in the
I think it's like
80s
will our
and
kids be like addicted to like the set? I just imagine some 12-year-old go, oh, where's my kid?
And the tone for today's podcast has been set.
Oh God, excuse me.
Oh my God.
Clip. Sorry about.
We're gonna kill the audio listeners. Sorry guys.
I've got a little bit of a cough. I apologise. I'm sick. You're looking at Mikey Casey's face. No, I'd like to open this up by saying we've worked with Mikey a bunch of times across a variety of projects, in a lot of different roles. I mean, what can you list out some of the stuff you've done on Badger shoots?
Actor, AC.
Camera assistant,
Stills
gaffer,
photographer on sounds?
BTS stuff. I'm the best damn gaffer in the country. I don't care what to say.
I'd rate him a solid 2.5 sad boys.
Out of a possible 3 sad boys.
Oh, I didn't know what the rating system was. I was just
They change all the time.
it's like grapples. But yeah, and then we've been lucky enough to work with Derek twice.
Twice. I'm a busy man.
Yeah, he's hard to get a hold of, boy. He was supposed to be in Mersey Boys. He actually played the best ever. He didn't show up.
He literally didn't show up. He was
That is commitment to the
truly in character.
I gave you forewarning that I'm not showing up.
That was fair at least. Yeah, but that was more than some people who cancel on results that give it. Or not results on Mersey Boys. They're the same universe. Yeah. So actually, speaking of universes, one of the big things
Deep.
that we share a lot in common with these boys
Is we all have a grundle.
is we all have
Do I have to censor Grundle?
No.
Would it be way funnier if I did?
I think anytime Grunge says it, because if you censor it, people just like, what was that?
But when you censor it with like just grundle, so it says the same thing. Because a different voice comes out.
But one of the things we all share is that we're all quite big into the old comic book movies. I remember when we first started chatting to well, actually, how that can kind of lead me into a segue about how I first encountered you.
How did you first encounter it?
So
I was crime fighting.
you were begging on the side of the street. You were like, I'm an actor. Please take my headshot.
Have you got any roles?
But no, how I actually met him was I was doing work for Nigel Mercier for his acting class thing.
Oh yeah, Derek was there.
Were you there too?
Yeah.
I wasn't part of his acting class. I did
No,
some
with
work
the
with him.
camp thing, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
how
I worked with Nigel for like a week, yeah.
But was he there? I
Yeah.
thought he was there that day.
Yeah, because that's how I met
wasn't-
you, was that
he
camp.
No, I was there.
He wasn't as memorable as you because you came in with the shades. Like, what the fuck was that?
It was memorable, wasn't it?
It was, but you did.
You gotta be memorable at each audition. Like, I mean, the only roles I'm getting nowadays is chicken rolls. Like, you know, like, genuinely, like, I go into an audition, it's like, oh, auditioning someone to play a spooky ghost. So I walk in dressed up as the KKK.
Oh, God.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit a lot of this podcast. I'm gonna.
it's okay. We know,
I'm
like,
not racist, I'm acting.
I'm not Kevin Spacey, I'm acting.
that just feels like it'll be Mikey Casey's epitaph on his tombstone. Mikey Casey, I'm not racist, I'm acting.
It'd be even funnier if it was like, I'm not dead, I'm acting. It's like everyone's just waiting
Play
for him
dead.
to come
Someone
back.
told me to play dead once.
All it'll say is just like, if in 2 months, dig up my corpse, throw it into a pool of yellow water, drop a cube, shock it with lightning, I'm coming back, baby.
So yeah, to put it bluntly, I mean, as you can see from Mikey here now, like all these lads had to come in and do like a fake audition for like a commercial, and it was like, yeah, it was just come in and just be like, oh, my phone, whatever it was.
Oh, Samsung Galaxy Y. I think that was it.
Yeah, and so
Samsung Galaxy Y.
Y, yeah.
Oh,
'cause
why?
Why the fuck do I have
It's a real phone.
I know.
Yeah, it's how I describe it is, imagine Samsung tried to make an iPhone.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And that iPhone had AIDS.
I don't know where the AIDS came from, but okay.
It's the why. It's the why part. Why do they have it?
iPhones are AIDS in general.
Barry's gonna. Well, actually, now I have to as well. Thanks, Barry.
No problem.
I've got you back now. You're kind of luring me in.
Yeah, I'm
You got a Mac as well.
Oh yeah.
He's got multiple Macs.
No, I don't. I've only the one.
Okay.
The laptop's Vachins.
So you purposely went out of your way to get a missus that had an Apple computer.
Okay, I'm not gonna say that Vashon was still on a Nokia when we started going
Oh,
out,
wow.
but she was.
I'm not going to say a thing, but I'm saying it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna emphasize it, but yeah,
But she was on a Nokia.
She was still on a Nokia. It was still like, it wasn't even like one of those good Nokias with the color screen. It was like still the old.
3310. Was that
Yeah,
the
I
That's a
can't.
solid phone, like.
was that the like bluish phone?
Yeah, the
with
really
yellow
small.
buttons?
My father went to a wedding in 2003 and he had a Nokia 3310. And it was, he charged it before he went because it was like one of the few times he
It's
charged
still
it.
gets still going.
He found it 6 years later in the jacket pocket with 2 bars of battery in it.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's basically like the Tesseract. It's just an unlimited energy source.
I saw.
Does it have Snake?
I saw an internet video where they were like, can you make an iPhone case out of duct tape and all that? And then they were like, can you make an iPhone case out of 3210s? So they just put a load of 3210s together and then put the iPhone in. They like hot glued them all together.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'd say advertise this thing, and Sean Mercier was with me.
Oh yeah, we're going back to that.
Yeah.
I got really lost there for a second. I had no idea where we were going.
We were shooting that, and everyone was coming in and kind of doing their piece fairly normal, and then this kid comes in and is just like wearing a pair of shades, and he's like, "This phone," like gives this ridiculous, over the top, ridiculous, exaggerated performance. I think you did the CSI thing, if I remember correctly. At the end, you went like.
If we can learn one thing from Tommy Wiseau, it's you're not going to get the roles, but
Mikey, go. They're coming.
Pull your chair in.
So
sit up straight. Brush your hair.
Got a haircut, you hippie.
So there was that, and then
no, you're leaning too far back. Come join.
You're
us.
doing a paddy on us.
Yeah.
And even I'm not doing a paddy today yet. Wait for the end.
If you want to lean back, pull your chair further forward.
Oh, it's too much effort.
Millennials.
We are millennials. We're Generation X.
Yeah.
We're not millennials.
X,
yeah.
come give it to.
Millennials are 90 to 95.
When were you born?
98.
90 to 95.
Are millennials, yeah.
I think they're Generation X, but I thought
We were Generation X.
It's either Generation X, Y, or Z. It's one of those. I'm genuine.
We were Gen X.
We're Gen Y. We're Gen Y then.
You're Gen Y?
Yeah, we're Gen Y.
So millennials
are
90 to 95 because they grew up like they were like. If you can remember 2000 and you were born between 1995, you're millennial. I think that's.
Is that how? I don't think that's how that works.
No, because we're not.
I have to Google the definition of millennials.
I'm sure not.
Like from 1998 to 2000, they were the best 2 years of shit in my pants and eating crayon. 2015, 2016 is a close second.
I've always wondered, does the peach colored crayon actually taste like peach?
Mikey?
Well,
the orange one doesn't taste like orange. It
Definition
does taste
of
like
millennial.
strangely, the blue one does taste like orange.
Because I know I'm not a millennial, because millennials would be like 4 or 5 years older than me.
A person reaching adulthood in the early 21st century.
Early, so yeah, we would be millennials.
Like, I think as far as I'm aware, like Aaron and Adam and them are all millennials. I don't think these boys are.
No, we're not.
I apologize.
Fun fact about our generation. We are the most conservative generation, not like the millennials, the ones after them, most conservative generation since World War II.
Wait, him?
Us.
He's the least conservative creature I've
Oh
ever
no, like politically.
Oh, but
politically, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even
Conservative.
know what that word means.
Conservative, right wing, yeah.
Really?
Most right-wing generation since World War II.
That's mad.
Yeah.
Why though?
Because
millennials.
Because of millennials.
Because of millennials.
And their like overabundance of wanting whatever they want and feeling deserved.
Brothers and sisters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got like, I don't know, like molested.
I think because
See, we don't have time to be concerned with politics because we're just sessioning the whole time.
You see, this is where it's like, I can't believe that conservative thing, because like, listen to him, like the things that he comes out with. If you want to see a conservative Mikey Casey is watch results.
do you mean your generation as a whole, like, or like in just in this country?
No, in America especially.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, that kind of makes a lot more sense then. That's how Trump got
20 to 25-year-olds are a massive Trump voter. Men. Yeah. Massive.
So that's who we need to blame.
Blame?
Yeah. Who knew on a podcast with Derek Williams and Mikey Casey about politics?
What? This doesn't make any sense.
I know.
This is like bizarre.
Oh, you didn't see the recut of results of it. It's a hard-hitting political drama.
It's like Wall Street.
Imagine the March of Ides, but with more jokes.
But with no jokes. Oh God.
So I met Mikey at that thing.
I met Derek really for the first time filming that scene for the Don'ts.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience. I knew no one. I showed up to, was it Aaron's house?
Yeah.
And there was you were filming the scene.
Do you know the reason you ended up, like, this is the truth, I hate it.
I like this
the
story.
reason you ended up in the Don'ts is that when Mikey was doing the private screening of results night and he decided to have a fucking laugh with you. Boy, what did you say?
Oh yeah, so it was. We had the movie done, like we only had it done like a week, and your birthday was like the next
Oh,
week.
yeah.
So I was like, right, me and Jack were like, we'll fucking throw together an edit so Derek can see it for his birthday. But we're like, but Derek hates the movie.
I don't hate the movie. I hate watching myself on
It's like,
screen.
so how will we get Derek to come? So we're like, tell him he's in this dingy warehouse, and that Paddy wants him for a scene.
I
So he
freaked you
came
out so
down.
bad.
And we were all sitting inside, and on the screen it was like, you thought Paddy wanted you for a role. That's hilarious. And then results
What
night
a
started
bad
playing.
That is so horrible.
So, but to make matters worse, when Derek arrived,
I was told I was going
gloves.
to sexually assault. Was it Stephen?
Tubbs.
Tubbs, yeah. I was you're going to like need to sexually assault Stephen. It's like, how naked do I have to be? You're like, as close as possible. And I was like, I shit myself because I was there. I was like, when the fuck is the last time I showered?
I was walking out and I put on these blue clinical gloves and I had baby oil and I was like, Derek, in here. And he's like, coming in. It's just what an awful setup.
No, because I was in 6th year at the time, so I was just spending all my time studying. It was like, come on over for it. I was like, yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure I hadn't showered in like 2 days. I was sitting there in my tracksuit, but like, what the fuck is going on? I was told dress as knackish as possible as well. So I wore these like I wore these cuffed tracksuit pants that were way too big and an Adidas jumper and a puffy jacket. And I was like, I made sure to wear like really big white socks. I must look like an Egypt walking in.
Well, and then as I say, I was like snapping on gloves and baby oil being like, come on in, Derek. You've got to see with you in Tubbs and you're going to be pinning him to the ground and you're going to be doing this to him. And Derek's just like...
I distinctly remember the snap before seeing you.
And then Mikey put that thing up on the screen saying like you thought you were going to be in one of Paddy's films. That's hilarious. And I was like, that's so mean. If there's ever a role for him to be in it, I have to put him in now. That's so unfair.
I think the best way to describe that moment was like, I'm just imagining like a 30-year-old man going in for his first prostate exam.
That was what results in it felt like for me. As a 34-year-old man, I felt like a 30-year-old man getting a prostate.
So it was 2 years ago, so you would have been around 32. No, yeah, 2 years ago.
Jesus.
2 years ago.
But yeah, I
Wow.
do remember that when you... No, but the funny thing is, I was like, I'd like to... Because you had been in the old cut, just like as a cameo, background character during a big fight. And then I was kind of like, when we were doing the reshoots, it was it me or Judd that suggested the scene with Derek as the pizza boy?
We needed a scene because we cut out Ridley's character.
We needed a scene to bridge the gap between whatever. I can't go too much into this for spoilers, but
Yeah.
something pivotal happens, and then something else. Like if you just went straight from that to the next part, it kind of there's too much tension and stuff
Yeah.
for the type of film it is. There needed to be something to break the tension.
Yeah, and in the
Um,
old cut, that was a scene with Mickey Ridley,
Yeah.
which is in the deleted scenes of the, or is it?
Yeah,
It is. It is in the.
that one might not be because that was the one I think that went on.
That
for
was
like-
too long. Oh.
Or it could have
Buy the DVD and find out.
Exactly, it's illegal. Hit like shuffle on the deleted scenes menu and see what you get.
Is there a shuffle option?
Yeah.
That's
How many
amazing.
deleted scenes are there? Like how long?
17. It's an hour and a half.
17 deleted scenes.
Hour and a half of deleted scenes.
It's like
That's
Justice
the
League.
whole movie.
I know.
That's
You
the
could
thing,
have
the-
made-
I could have watched Emoji Movie and a bit more of the start of Emoji Movie.
Or you could watch the sped up version of a B movie, like.
You could watch all Star Wars at the same time. There's actually a clip. Someone
I've
edited
seen it.
So it's
I've seen
all
it.
6 Star Wars played alongside each other.
Yeah.
Why though?
I don't know, like, let's say, I guess if you like want to catch up and you just want to skip, you don't want to skip the Phantom Menace, but you realise how awful it is. That's my.
So you just focus on one of the other ones?
you just
You
kind of
just
split your
can't
attention.
blankly stare at the screen.
I think you don't actually watch it. I think it's more of kind of like, oh haha, I guess I did this thing and I put it up on YouTube.
I would totally. I think it would be like a Clockwork Orange setup, like tie yourself to the chair, just like watch, just play them all, and just be like, I know kung fu, but
But-
I think I like George Lucas again.
When it first opens up, because at the start it's perfectly synced. So like imagine the Star Wars team at the start, but 6 times louder.
and then it just
Yeah. But like they don't end on the same period. So you got the ending music to one, and in another one you've got Darth Vader shouting no. I want to see every Celtic Badger Media short movie done like that.
Totally do it as well.
Yeah, we have
Except
plenty.
some of them are like 30 seconds and some of them are
We can just repeat the ones that are shorter.
oh no.
Yeah,
That was so annoying.
Just keep it on.
So yeah, that was but like going back, that was when we met Derek.
Yeah.
And then as I say,
No, I lie because you were on set for when we shot the
I
original.
was, but we didn't. Like,
we didn't
it was
really
such a
interact
hectic
though.
shoot
Yeah,
that
it
night,
was-
like
It was like
Kathy
4
was kind of
o'clock.
running around wrangling everyone.
Yeah.
Extras wise, Kathy's just like, I need all of you over here, move, do that.
I remember there was a stage when pizza showed up that me, you, and Mikey were just kind of chatting up near the
That
back.
was a little bit of foreshadowing.
What?
Pizza showing up and then you.
Oh,
Oh.
shit! I didn't even realize. Oh, there you
my
go.
scene memory is like half an hour or something going, no, there's a shadow of a boom pole there, we can't do this.
Yeah,
shadow
there was
of
a
a boom
lot
pole.
of that and that because it was like 360-degree shots.
Yep.
You can
That
watch
was-
that whole church fight sequence on the deleted scenes.
Yep.
You get to see what Mikey looked like before the
Oh.
reshoots as well.
Oh, when I had my hair.
DVD available at the3don'ts.com. Blu-ray also available at the3don'ts.com. Can we officially say it's a 2-disc?
Yes, 2 disc on DVD, 1 disc on Blu-ray.
So what's,
Yeah.
what's the price?
So technically, the price is 20 quid for the DVD and 30 for the Blu-ray. But because we're so sound, we're just pure sound fuckers. Like, we've done a discounted deal, kind of semi-indefinitely. Not really indefinitely. We will stop.
Yeah,
at
for
some
the
point.
first 100.
Yeah, it's basically if you buy it anytime now, you get the DVD for 15 and the Blu-ray for 25. So.
Hold some fun with the family for Christmas.
Oh man, definitely. You got the commentary, you got audio commentary, which is pretty good crack as well. You've got an hour and 10-minute long making of featurette,
Which is really fucking cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
only saw it
brilliant.
for the first time the other day.
and then there's 15 minutes of bloopers, and then an hour and a
There-
half of deleted scenes. You're talking like 7 hours content with this movie.
For 15 quid, like
15
that's
quid.
that's 2 quid an hour of entertainment. That's better than any brothel.
Are you telling me you'd rather watch
depends how long
the
you last.
movie and 3 Justice Leagues than just watch all the deleted scenes?
You can watch 2.5 Justice Leagues and you won't have half as much regret.
And none of the mustaches are
I know,
CGI.
I enjoy Justice League for the memes that come out of it.
That's the funny thing about modern day though, is that like you can enjoy a film that's kind of rubbish just for the memes.
And there's some modern day though. I mean, look at The Room.
True.
I mean,
But you don't enjoy it for the memes, that's just, it's so bad, it's good. Justice League is actually a bad film.
He's not wrong.
I
know.
can justify watching The Room.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm going to watch this because I know it's hilarious.
It's culturally
And,
significant.
But like, you know, like there's no more. I'd love Justice League if Batman like goes, I did not kill Superman. I did not. I'm High Flash. Now that would be good. Like that would be a good movie. So Tommy Wiseau play Batman. My parents are dead.
you're tearing me apart, Superman.
Oh, Cyborg, why are you always trying to play psychologist with us?
Okay, we don't have time to reenact the whole film.
Are we effectively committing to like kind of doing a Justice League fan trailer replacing like Batman with Tommy
Can I
Wiseau?
play
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau?
Can you edit that,
Weird.
Brandon? Could you edit that?
Clean plates, green screen Mikey.
You'd need a lot of roto. We could do
We
it.
can do it.
I want to place the White Stripes song from the White Stripes song from the trailer with the stock music from The Room. you definitely know it. Like you can't listen to it, but like you listen to it, go, that's
From
from
The
The
Room.
Room. Yeah.
It's actually funny how many films that I saw at like Indie Cork.
That had that stock music.
No, they didn't have that stock music, but I used that as a temp score. I know exactly where they got that
Time
track.
scores are the worst things.
Yeah,
Oh.
I like temp scores. I think they're good to edit too.
If you're getting someone to write your music, time scores are awful.
Yeah.
I'll never forget how upset I was when the movie Room came out in like 2015 or like 2014 because I went to Odeon thinking it was The Room,
Oh no!
like a screening of that, and it was like this like it was an actual film, and I was like, oh, I
But
spent my money.
but it was a good film.
It was, right? I was like,
It's
I
good.
wanted to see Tommy Wiseau.
And all I got was Brie Larson.
All
I got was Brie Larson
all I
getting
got
raped.
was
Wow.
Oh
That's one for the editing room.
Brie Larson is Captain Marvel in Infinity War.
Oh god. Miss Marvel.
Oh wow, we've gone there. Well, Derek went there. Let's throw him under the bus.
So we're 30 minutes in. You want to do our top picks?
Yeah, top picks is a good one. I didn't have it written down because I thought we knew our format, but clearly it's been destabilized.
This one is a little bit more tangential than most.
It's going to be a lot more tangential.
Yeah.
But yeah, top picks. So what we do with top picks is every week we do a thing where...
What are you doing?
I don't know.
We don't have a theme song for
William
top picks. Are you
Shatnering
making
it
one?
A little bit. Top picks.
No clipping. No, it's bad for the microphone.
Topics on
Shh,
top
Mikey, shut up, please. Please. Look at the clips. You made that clip. Don't fucking clip your fingers again. I swear to God, I'll take
add
your
in the
thumbs.
sound effect.
I swear to God, I'll take your thumbs.
So top picks is basically where we talk about something that we've watched recently or played or read or it's basically any piece of media that's kind of you've enjoyed. Or didn't Aaron kind of change it up by picking something you disliked?
Yeah, anything you've kind of seen recently that had an effect on you that you want to talk about, be it in a good light or not in a good light. I can hear you saying Justice League already.
No, I'm not that
Okay,
needy.
cool.
Oh God.
I'm putting you on the spot now.
Yeah, because there was something in my head. It's gone. What was it? Oh yeah, it was that fan edit I watched. Paradise. Some guy took Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I haven't actually seen Alien Covenant yet, but this guy did.
You've seen everything you need to.
I think so. I watched this fan edit called Paradise where he took the two movies, blended them together into one 3-hour long movie, but the editing was solid as all in it, and he replaced some of the music.
Characters.
He got rid of, as I said to you, there's
Yeah.
one of the biggest moments for me is in Prometheus. One of the worst scenes ever is when the guy is I'm scared of this dead alien thing, and then it's this this thing opens and the snake comes out and he's oh, look at you little cutie, and you're what?
What was that flip flop about?
But in this, I was telling Barry, it's basically just they're down in the planet and Idris Elba's character is oh yeah, you're gonna have to wait there till morning, guys, and they're damn it, and then it just cuts back and then whatever happens on the ship, and then they go down the next day and they're oh my God, they're fucking dead. And I was see, that's way scarier. Not knowing what killed them and what happened is infinitely more scary.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good fan edit. I don't know, as I say, all I know of Covenant is what I've seen in that. But yeah,
cool.
and they put in the two prequel things as well. They edited that the whole, so basically everything that you needed for those films.
Nice.
It was really, really good.
Mikey?
I watched Stranger Things season 2.
Nice.
Spoilers.
I won't go into spoilers, but it was very good.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I enjoyed it way more than I liked season 1. So I thought season 1 was okay, but I was I don't really get why, because I only watched it back in November,
Just getting ready.
Yeah, I was really late to it, but yeah, I was it's alright, but I don't get why everyone's going mental over it, and then 3 episodes into series 2, I was I understand why everyone's going mental over this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind getting spoilers, but it's good.
Yeah, I found season 2 started a little slower, but it added that tension. I think that the first one kind of was well, there's a kid missing and they're just trying to find him. It didn't really have that we don't really know what's happening. It's kind of, whereas season 2 had a lot more of that slow twist of you can see shit's going down, but you don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because I think what drew me into season 1 was that was exactly what you're saying, as in this kid's missing, what's after happening, what's going on in this town, all the questions were what lured me in the first place. But what I liked about the 2 or 3 episodes of season 2 that I've seen so far is that it's still doing that. It's not Stranger Things isn't a show that kind of goes and here are all the answers. It continues to kind of go, it's kind of an answer, but also not really.
Yeah. They just announced season 3 as well.
Yeah, I saw that today.
See, I'm the only person who hasn't seen Stranger Things here. But the thing is, when I get recommended shows, most of the time it's a friend of mine or whatever, or someone else in the film or theatre. The people who kept recommending me Stranger Things were these teenage girls, and I was nah, I'm good. I'm just
thought it was going to be a Twilight Hunger Games scenario or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just It's important who recommends me stuff. If I know you've shit taste and you recommend me something, I'm not gonna watch it.
That's fair.
One thing actually that kind of shocked me is like I was talking to lads in college about it, and like they were all saying like, "Oh yeah, it's so creepy. Like, how'd you keep watching it? Like, so scary." And I was like, "Is it meant to be a horror?" Because I don't find it scary at any points. Like, but apparently
there's a couple of like jump scares, but no.
See, I think for me, like for people who don't watch horror movies and stuff, or like haven't. It's definitely eerie. I call it eerie. It kind of like has tension that, as you said, ratchets up.
It has tension, but it's not. I was never like.
But you see, this goes back to something I heard.
Stranger
But you see, this is something that it goes back to that I heard on Movie Crypt recently, and I was like, that's so fucking true. Is that like tension movies? The Shining is not a horror movie. It's a tension movie. It's recognized as one of the best horror films of all time, but it's not.
It's not a modern horror movie.
No, but it's tension. It's all just like something sitting right just underneath the surface that you're like, where's this going? What's going on?
What's the last good mainstream horror film you saw?
Conjuring.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Conjuring.
I wouldn't put Conjuring in with a lot of the modern horror films. Right.
Annabelle Creation.
I think it's more a thing of horror movies in general than that specific movie, if you get me.
I don't know. I think that there is a kind of like looking at it, right? People went into it going, "Oh, I can't wait to be scared shitless." Like this is what they went in with the intention of, and then it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
But it was a character-driven, almost part comedy, part what do they call it, like journey of self-discovery. Effectively, these kids,
it's coming of age
drama almost.
Yeah, if you look back at the original, it's not good.
It's awful. Me and Tubbs have had arguments over this. I personally think the Tommy Lee Wallace is like not good at all. Personally,
it's like
Tim Curry is
the best thing about it by a mile.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people I'm thinking were like, "Oh yeah, I remember that from my childhood."
But that's nostalgia.
It's like I guess Tim Curry was creepy, but like.
And even still, even watching his drain pipe sequence again recently, and he's like, "Come on down, Jordan." You're like, what is this?
But
this
even
is
like
not really scary. It's more just like, what's Tim Curry doing in that drain?
Even as
Tim
a
Curry's
kid,
being
though,
Tim Curry.
I found he was like a really funny clown.
Who?
Tim Curry. Like as a
As
a kid, I found like he was a genuinely funny clown. Like.
But you see, a lot of people complained that Skarsgård was almost too scary from the outset. But I mean, it's a creature that feeds on fear.
He's literally an out-of-universe demon that's meant to be a spider that takes the persona of a clown to kill children every 27 years.
And so it's, but people are like, he was almost too scary. Oh yes.
What were you expecting?
I hate when a horror film is scary.
That's obviously not what I paid
One
for.
thing actually that
You said that on the interview with Aaron, on the podcast with Aaron, when Aaron says, so we were asking, why don't you like horror films, to Aaron? And Aaron was like, they scare me, like, and you were like, oh no, a horror film didn't.
But I don't like horror films either. Like, there's so many emotions you can like get from watching any piece of art. Why the fuck do I want to be scared?
I don't know, I love it.
To feel alive.
It's like a roller coaster.
Thrill, yeah. But one thing that just made me hate myself more is
Results.
The emoji. No, so like when I went to see it, none of the jump scares like got me because I saw a lot coming or whatever. Like, I love the movie, but I didn't find it scary. There's moments where you go, that's a bit creepy, like, But like there was never anything that made me go like, oh Jesus Christ. But I got a jump scare in Justice League. Because I was falling half asleep, and then the bug creature like whacks off the window, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Why are we wrapping around to Justice League again?
Yeah, we left it behind.
You can never leave it behind.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
Going back to your why do people want to be scared? Like, it's that whole extreme sports thing. Like, you get your heart racing, you get the adrenaline. That's all part of.
I can see a haunted house. Yeah. Scary movies, I'm just like, I find like narratively driven movies so much more interesting to watch, and I find that so rare with horror movies.
There's some great ones recently though. I find, like, as in, if you're not looking for, like we were just saying, like not like jump scares, but you're actually looking for like really good stories that happen to be kind of scary. I think the best one I can think of is Hush. the Mike Flanagan film about the deaf girl who there's like a home invasion going on.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking terrifying because like it's not terrifying because ooh jump scare. It's terrifying for the exact opposite reason, in that she's sitting on her couch and you're seeing that behind her there's a guy like smashing the window open, and you're like, fuck, this is horrible. I can't handle the idea of being deaf and not knowing that that's happening. But even the trailer for that new one, A Quiet Place, looked
That
really
looks
good.
really fucking cool.
I
I love that they could say so much without even a peep of audio. There was that one glass smash. That was it.
Have you seen it? It's basically a trailer where it's like all silent. The idea is the monster in this thing picks up a noise and attacks as soon as there's any kind of noise. So like this family are like living in the woods, but they've learned to like communicate by like, because even when they're having the dinner, they're speaking sign language or something, and like they're playing Monopoly, but they have like saffron and things down on the base of the. So there's no audio in the whole trailer. It's just kind of like just a drone noise almost. And then like one of the kids like knocks something and it's like psh, like a big crack, and the father's like, and then like white hot sweat over him, like, and then you just see like claw marks on the walls, and it's just like it just ratchets up. You're like, fuck.
It's a really cool trailer.
I'm wondering what's easier, to learn sign language with your whole family or move to a new house?
I think the idea, I'm guessing it's some kind of post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
I'm getting like part of me was almost like, I was like, I wonder if this is going to be another Cloverfield movie that they're like, that they're doing the whole same thing again of like putting a different name on it and then dropping it last minute. Because I kind of felt, I was like, this could be another potential Cloverfield
could
movie.
fit in that universe.
Yeah.
Did anyone see the trailer for The Midnight Man?
No?
It looks absolutely unreal. Like,
Yeah.
it look, like at the start of the trailer, it's like, oh, it's just another like generic horror film. But basically, if you ever read the creepypasta, The Midnight Game, yeah, it's that.
Okay, yeah.
And like, say at the start of the trailer, it's like in like the 70s, and there's all these kids in this attic, and they're playing the game. And one of their candles go out, and the rule of the game is like, if your candle goes out, surround yourself in a circle of salt, or get it back lighting in like 10 seconds, or he kills you.
Gets you, yeah.
So you see like something just like grab the child, rip them, and you just see the child getting ripped open, like it's. But then it goes to like modern day, where someone's moved into the house and they find the rules written down, and then basically it's like the game starts, but just shows like, it just looks absolutely mental. It reminded me a lot of Conjuring 1, like by the look of it, because even there's a bit where it's like your one's candle goes out and she's trying to like light it back up, and she gets it lit back up, and she hears something behind her, she turns around, there's nothing there, and then like she turns back, there's nothing there anyway, and the next thing like you'll see coming up behind her is like this long figure, and he just goes like shh, like that, and it's like it reminds me a lot of like the clap.
Want to play hide and clap?
So Barry, what's your top pick?
My top pick is actually a band that I just recently discovered called Stand Atlantic. They were the band that I was playing for you in the headphones earlier.
Cool. They were really cool.
They kind of
Female singer?
Female singer, yeah. They kind of remind me of like old Paramore before they went really poppy.
What genre would they be?
They're kind of pop punk.
Old Paramore is really good.
Yeah, old Paramore.
Listening to it, I was like, is this Paramore? No, it's not.
No, it wasn't. They're an Australian band. They're actually doing a European tour, but they're not playing here, which is really shit, because I was like, I would totally go see them. And the only thing they have at the minute is like a 5-track EP. It was like, I need more. You know, they're one of those bands that I just came across that I was like, oh fuck, I need to hear more. These are really good. Yeah, it's.
What did you say their name was again?
Stand Atlantic.
I'm not a big pop punk fan.
No?
No, it's. If you study music, do you do music? You play music, do you?
Yeah, I play music.
I find it's just the same chord progression over and over again.
Yeah, this is. I wouldn't say it's a basic pop punk. Like there's a lot of stuff in it that kind of brings it out. Like the drums are really cool in them, and a lot of the lead guitar lines are really cool. I really like them.
Okay.
They're kind of, you ever hear Patent Pending? They're kind of,
No, I haven't.
they'd be similar enough to Patent Pending, where it's not kind of the standard blink chords that get repeated.
Patent Pending was like one of the like anthems of the Don'ts.
Yeah.
Like when we were working on it.
Hey Mario
in the
was
early
a
days,
big one.
I remember you just being like, you love this track. To me, like, because obviously you knew like Big Gamerhead and all the rest of it.
I remember we had like a bonding moment on one of the days where it was raining, where we were talking about all the music we used to listen to.
Is that the Offspring thing?
No, we brought up Hoobastank. and we were both talking about who we
Crawling
sang.
in the Dark.
Crawling in the Dark being like the ultimate tune. And I remember like not long after that shoot going home and like going straight onto iTunes and was like, I need their entire back collection. So that was really funny. And then we found out we were at the same Offspring gig when we were younger and we never met, and we had very similar paths but never actually crossed. It was really funny.
How did that happen? We found out about that because you said, oh, I really love this band Rufio, and I was like, I saw them with the Offspring in Dublin in 2001 or 2003 or whatever it was, and you were like, that's where I found out about Rufio.
No, I actually found out
you
about
went
Rufio.
to Offspring to see Rufio.
Yeah, I went to. I found them on a skate video. Their video for the single Above Me was just a skate video. I was like, yes. I was like, this is my kind of band. And then I had gotten tickets to see the Offspring, and I was texting a friend of mine who was up there. She was already in Dublin. And I was like, you don't know who's playing support? And she was like, some band called Rufio. And I was like, I get to see Offspring and Rufio. It's like, this is amazing. It's like, what an amazing coincidence.
For me, it was like I was going up to the Offspring and it was just like, who are Rufio? I don't know. And then like they come on and they were amazing. And then I was like, the Offspring were alright. Rufio were class.
Yeah.
Rufio.
I used to follow them on Facebook, and they at one point had their tour bus stolen with all their gear and everything on it. Like, it bankrupted the band. That was the end of them. They couldn't.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's pretty harsh.
So on a brighter note, Derek, what's your topic?
I'm trying to think. I've been so busy, I haven't been watching much.
You've been reading, listening, playing games, anything at all? Any kind of media, or even actually, what have you been working on? Maybe that does.
I just finished up a show 2 weeks ago. Original play called The Cock and Plucker by a guy called Cathal Moore.
Stop giggling.
It reminds me, you never ever hear that tongue twister? I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's son, but I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes. No? Nobody?
I've heard it.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
That one took a while to learn.
Never heard it recited that well though.
Yeah. Practice. You can thank Watsky for that.
So
I learned to enunciate.
the Cock and Plucker.
Cock and Plucker. It was.
Stop it!
There's actually a joke in the show about basically it's set in a pub called The Cock and Plucker. That's where the name of the show comes from. Basically about a guy who runs a pub, and his brother's friend who died comes in. He's an alcoholic, and he's just trying to get over his alcoholism. It's a very long show. Very long.
How long, like?
Ooh, almost 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, almost 3 hours.
Is there an intermission?
There is an intermission. But it was really enjoyable to be on. Really enjoyable. It's done now. Like I'm sure you can find the script out there somewhere if you ask for it. But
You said it was an original
play written by a guy called Cathal Moore. He went over to Boston for a bit.
Oh, very cool.
And he wrote the script in about 5 weeks. Everything, all by himself. It was just really fun to be on. Yeah, he's fantastic stuff. He's actually studying computer games development.
Hey.
Yeah.
I think I know that guy because I think from when I had Open Emotion, I think he possibly applied for an internship.
No way.
That sounds like him.
Yeah.
Is it a comedy drama?
It was a dark comedy.
Dark comedy.
That's the best way I can put it. It was very. There was no real like tonal center.
Okay,
It's
Okay.
very kind of
Fluctuates.
yeah. Some scenes are very heavy, and then some scenes are very light. Literally, there's some scenes literally of people going, just spouting back and forth what type of food they want and how they want it. I think my favorite line in the show was, "I'm already there, chat up the waitress. What's on the menu, love? You."
Nice.
It was just a very fun show to be on, but it was written around the thing of when you write a show for Drama Stock, like I'm in the middle of writing one for them now, they tend to want you to write big casts with lots of female characters because you're in a college drama site, like it's not going to be an open casting call where you can have whoever you want.
Yeah.
You kind of have to work with what you have. So it was very kind of like, oh, I had this idea, and then you mold it to Drama Stock.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah. So it's very very social issue, kind of big on that.
Kind of almost you build it out, but then you retrofit it to fit
Yeah.
around I mean, it's funny because I'm currently drafting my second feature script at the moment, and literally like that, I said to Baz, I was like, I might have to push it back. I was like, I really don't want to because it would suck because we have locations, we have everything, and I was like, but I know the script is going to come flying out as soon as I get like a day to sit down and work at it. But I'm like, but I also know that now that I have it in my head, I will probably like retrofit it so that I'm like, it will fit within the bounds of like specifically what I need.
Yeah.
Because I think when you do have those kind of things around you, it's actually sometimes a positive thing because it kind of forces you to write something that is achievable, not just something that's like, oh, this would be amazing if we could make it.
It's how I describe it is like writing an essay. It's like, go write an essay about what? I don't know, just write an essay. Like, what are you supposed to write about? But like, oh, here's a title to write an essay.
Exactly.
That's how
it changes everything. Yeah.
I found the same when you get a 48-hour thing, 48-hour film competition. When we did the first one, where we had so many constraints, it was like, okay, it's like we can bend our show or film to it.
Do you remember that, like, driving up, I came up with the idea that I said, okay, if it's a thriller, this guy comes to the door and he's like, hey, I'm a friend of your husband's, and that's the setup.
For those watching or listening, we're talking about Iris.
I was like, okay, if it's a thriller, we can do that. If it's a drama, he comes to her door and he's like, look, I'm a friend of your husband's, and it's like this really heavy story. And if it's a comedy, he comes to the door. Basically the exact same setup for every possibility of genre.
That's because we knew our actors and we knew our location. Other than that, we were kind of...
Remember I said I'll bring the gun, and you were like, we probably won't need it. And I was like, I'll bring it just to be... It's in Aaron's audio case anyway.
Yeah.
And I brought it. And then it became one of the pivotal things.
Yeah.
The whole film was kind of...
Even earlier, you talking about someone and someone, and you were like, well, we have rules of like less than 3 minutes, 2 characters, 1 location.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier to write for than going, well, I have kind of this idea in my head of a story I want to write.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it was the exact opposite when we did the 48-hour film competition for Little Cinema, because they were like, oh, you can have the script written in advance or whatever if you want.
So it's
like, and the only rule is it had to be under 5 minutes or whatever.
Kind of sounds.
I was like, but what do we write about then?
That's it. I mean, even Screenvention, we did Framed. Similarly, it was
based around the prop.
Based around a prop, and they said your prop is a picture frame. Now, me and Aaron had already talked about doing this comedy sketch called Bag, stands for being a gowl, about a security guard being left in a warehouse and just wrecking the place and having a laugh and not really giving a shit. And then as soon as they gave us the prop, I went to Aaron and I was like, well, being in a big warehouse, I know we made a joke of it, but it could be pretty fucking scary. Like, so if we took that basic concept and we applied, like, imagine just finding a random picture frame and it's broken, like, and whatever, and something's not right about it, and then that's where it led to Frame. And like you say, having something to write towards made that a hell of a lot easier than just being like, write whatever you want.
Yeah,
what?
It's all yours.
What is that? I can't do that. I've literally, what I did with the Parish, which is the new feature that I'm writing, I literally have every key beat of the film written out.
Before I came here today, I was working on the script, and I was kind of just jotting down stuff. I thought, I'm getting nowhere with this. So how would you describe your writing process like?
Usually, I mean,
that's a great question.
This is good. This is real banter.
Yeah, I like this.
I started, like, when I sometimes write stream of consciousness, like literally just if it's coming out, just like go and like let the words fly out. And I've always said that I think too many people get hung up when they're writing on like that line that they're writing and going like, oh, it needs an exclamation point or it needs this or and I'm like, just fucking if it's flowing, go and edit.
I'd say if you're writing dialogue, that's fine. But if you're like laying out like, here's what I want in the story, here's what I characters to be, stream of consciousness I wouldn't say works.
It's interesting because there's a guy called Simon Barrett, he was on The Core and he was talking about his process. He did You're Next, I don't know if you've seen it, it's like a really weird, different home invasion movie. He did one called The Guest as well, which is a massive influence on Retribution.
So I heard.
Yeah, you can watch it, it's such a good film, you should really watch it.
It's on Netflix, I'll get to it.
You will, it's so good. But Simon Barrett was saying that what he does is he comes up with his ending shot. Like he sees his ending shot in his head and then he goes, okay, I know what I'm going towards.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to start writing. Okay. And that's what he does. And I almost understand that. I think like with the Perished, it kind of worked like that where I knew exactly where I wanted it to end.
Yeah.
And then I did this with another script I was writing a while back and I kind of put myself in an awkward position where I couldn't get my middle down. Where I wrote the end, I had an idea for the end and I had an idea for the beginning, but I didn't have any of the middle. But with the Perished, I decided I'm not going to let that happen, so I went back and I literally wrote out like 26 points on a refill pad page like that.
26, okay.
26, and I just wrote like Sarah arrives home, Sarah does this, Sarah gets on a bus, has happened.
How long was this? How long was this meant to be?
90-minute feature.
90 minutes, 20. That's not bad. Yeah.
It's key beats. Like there's probably going to be a lot more stuff.
Oh
that
yeah.
happens, but,
Very
like,
very key stuff.
just like I mean, I'm definitely underselling it there with like Sarah. Sarah buys a pack of sucky sweets.
Or the eventual long bus ride.
About riding, I find it very therapeutic.
It is.
I find it very therapeutic.
What I find is I need like the reason I haven't been able to do it because I was working on the game, I was working on the Dawn stuff, and I find that when I have all this other shit in my plate that I literally can't. Like I sit down and look at the page and I get like intimidated. But the other thing I find is that writing is not just physically writing your script. It's the whole process of thinking about it, fleshing out your like that. It was funny because I pitched it to Orla, the film, when we were on Mersey Boys, and I said like, this is the next feature I'm doing, and she was like, I want to produce it. I was like, what? That jumped, that escalated. She was like, no, I love it, I want to produce it. And then literally we started talking and she's like, I'm like, yeah, but I need this like location, it's really hard to get. It's like an old abandoned parochial house. And she's like, my uncle and aunt have an old abandoned parochial house in Ballyvaughan. I'm like, the universe is an interesting fucking place. Like,
True.
You know, when you're just like, there's one gigantic problem that will stop me from making this movie that seems insurmountable right now. Oh, I'm interested in your thing, and I have exactly that thing you're looking for.
It's funny because tomorrow I'm up in Dublin and I'm meeting Connor and Aaron, the two guys behind Lift, to talk about their new feature film that they're hoping to make with Celtic Badger. We don't know how it'll work out yet, but I'm going up to meet with them anyway. And like reading the script on the plane on the way over to London and stuff like that, and how they're describing it, I was like, this is fucking set in Loughrea. I know it is. It's like, the way it's described, it's like it's long, narrow streets where all the buildings are different colours. They're only about a story or 2 stories tall. Some have flat roofs, some have angled roofs. I was like, it sounds just like Loughrea. And then there's a point where they're like, oh, well, we need to get this character. And it's like, well, he's in Athlone, and that's 40 minutes away. And I'm like, Athlone is exactly 40 minutes away from Loughrea. Like, in real time. I was like...
I would find now that I'd write a script very site generic, and then we're like, well, I write for theatre.
Yeah, so theatre, I guess.
Yeah.
There's site specific theatre and site generic theatre. Yeah. Like the play you were just in recently, Mikey.
Bag of Chips was site generic.
Was it not site specific in that church?
Well, yeah, for that church, but like it could be done.
It could be done
church,
anywhere. Yeah.
Like, but
because I just remember it being advertised as a site.
Yeah, basically, we were told at the start of the semester, they're like, there's this old church and you're doing a play in there, and we were like, okay, I guess we can try that, like, but doesn't make much sense. So yeah, it was a lot of devising. No one really wrote anything down. It was like,
but that's
3 or 4 weeks of just constant improv, and then we got to like, this bit worked, that bit didn't, write that down, and then we kind of like brought it all together.
It almost sounds like the old vaudevillian like method of like writing for stage. Like we were talking about on the podcast a few weeks ago that like with Steve Farrell, that like the old, I was saying that I personally, like, forgive me or whatever, but I don't find modern comedy very good. Like, I genuinely don't. I think it's just kind of like randomness for the sake of randomness.
Depends how it's done.
I don't know, like, my favourite, like, going back, it's 30 years old apparently as of like 2 days ago, but like Planes, Trains and Automobiles is genuinely one of my favourite films of all. But those comedies I felt had a structure that worked, but they weren't, we said it on that podcast, they had a formula but they weren't formulaic.
Yeah.
Like, me and my dad were talking about Planes, Trains and Automobiles, and the two of us were crying laughing because we were thinking about the scene where like they're in bed together and like John Kennedy's like cuddling him or whatever, and he's like, your hand is on my hand, or your hand is wherever, and he's like, where's your other hand? He's like, it's between 2 big fluffy pillows. He's like, those aren't pillows. It's just cold. Like, I don't know.
The guy who raised the Cock and Plucker, he's also a stand-up comedian, and it's actually, the show is actually quite funny in my opinion.
Yeah.
But what I find with a lot of modern comedy is they won't weave comedy into the narrative. They'll be doing a narrative, and then you'll get a pause in the scene where something
to make a joke.
And a pause in the scene, something will happen. Another character will comment on something happening, and then the scene will resume.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's exactly what I was kind of trying to get at in that podcast. It just felt like we were also saying that in like Hollywood, big films, blockbusters and whatever, it's like, oh, you gotta have a joke every 30 seconds. You gotta have a joke every 30 seconds, and it's like, if you do that for 90 minutes, it's not funny anymore. Like,
That's sorry.
No, you go ahead.
That's what I find a big problem with Hollywood is they don't trust their audience.
no, not at all. It's
You
like,
have
this is a formula that works. 30-second jokes. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Have a fucking backbone and do something unique.
I would rather watch a movie that tries something and fails
Yeah.
than a
Like the
movie that just the same thing that the fucking last movie did. Like,
If
Yeah.
you want to see something that tries and fails, results night, celebrate.
yes.
That one's your camera.
Results night.
I got you, Mikey. I
What
got
would
you.
you? Oh, sorry, no.
Yeah, what you were saying about like writing, a lot of results night
Was just thought
literally
process.
just jokes me and Derek had made to each other.
Yeah.
Like, bit of a spoiler, but like Derek had sent me a picture of him with an SS flag. And I was like, why'd you have that? And we were just like, he was like, oh, my friend gave it to me. And then he's like, imagine like, no, you said something like, I hope there's no Polish people around or something. And I was like,
No, the joke came from the friend who gave me that SS flag is Polish.
yeah. So then we were like,
The Polish
we
mafia.
need like to have a group of Polish people so we can show that flag in the film. And then the Polish mafia happened, and then Jack Hayes with his, if it's Polish mafia, they should have to polish their shoes. Polish shoes. And I was like, yes.
What's it? No, but it's interesting though, because I find, like, as I say, recently I've really realised more that I've been I said it to people last week and stuff at the meeting, like, writing's not sitting down with a pen and pad specifically and like writing can be in your car or on a bus with headphones on and going like, then this beat sets up.
Oh well, I'll always like, the moment I think of something, if I'm like, oh, I've thought of it now, I have to write it down right then and there.
I find that, like, sometimes, because ideas that fly into your head aren't always good.
Yeah, but if you write them down, you can always still think about them.
Yeah, no, I get that. I always find that, for me anyway, it's just every single part of it is the process of writing. It's not just literally that. Like, writing for me is the process from the second the idea enters your brain to when it ends up in a script,
to developing it,
or
But I agree with Derek with that. Like, if I get an idea, I write it down. Because even it could be the most shit. Like, originally in results night, there was going to be a gorilla in it. Like,
I sometimes
but
feel
it's
this
like,
is where my fear with it's one of those things where when you write it, you make it real, or it becomes something.
Separate page.
Separate page. When you look at it, it's like everything that like
Some things
I
don't
write
deserve
down-
to be made real.
like, everything that like
Results nice.
everything that like you write down, you can build off of it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like there's ideas that we had like for like short films, and they like that never went ahead. But then like elements of that went into results night.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. you know.
I'm a big kind of like, if I think of something, I'm like, if that's good enough, I'll remember it later. You know, I can pull from it later. And if I think of something and it's like, yeah, it's like, I really like that. And then if I can't think of it like a month or two later when I'm sitting down to write something, it's like, it probably wasn't good anyway. Whereas usually the ideas that you get that you feel are good, you get really excited about, and you're like, you put that in, it's like, I will not forget that. That's so good.
I used to be the type of person that I'd wake up after having like a crazy dream and I'd be like, I've got to document this, I got to write this somewhere, like, to remember it. But kind of like similar to what you were saying, I guess, in that like I started to hit a point where I kind of was like, if it's a good enough memory or if it's funny enough, I'll remember it. But what's interesting, I mean, like with The Perished, it was literally a case of idea popped in, I brought it up at a meeting. This is why you don't write every idea down.
Yeah.
Because I brought it up at a meeting, and I think, was it Luke and Audrey that hijacked it
Yeah.
and turned it, and Mikey.
It was definitely, because it was around the time Audrey was talking about Anime Ghost.
Yeah, Hentai Ghosts.
Hentai Ghost, that's it.
Oh,
But yeah, so
ghosts.
Derek Williams is hentai ghost.
Derek Williams versus Hentai Ghosts. But yeah, they turned the idea for The Parish into something it wasn't, which kind of, you were like, I'm out.
Yeah,
And
I was like,
that's not what I was articulating.
Yeah, and originally I was like, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah.
It was like, if you want to do it, you fire ahead. It was like,
It wasn't what I wanted.
It wasn't until you pitched it to me later and you're like, no, this is what I intended on it being. I was like, I am 100% on board.
What would you say to the phrase, if you write something, don't direct it. If you direct it, don't edit it?
I definitely agree with if you direct it, don't edit it. Personally, look, everyone's got different processes and stuff.
I'm
And
not
some people get very like, who is it? A lot of big guys like edit their own stuff. But I just no. I think if I was to edit like a film I made, it would be 4.5 minutes long. If it was a 90-minute feature, I'd just be like, no, actually that's all shit. I think I disagree with if you write it, don't direct it.
Yeah.
Fundamentally.
Because I was always like, no, if I write something now, I'd let someone else direct it. But now that I'm writing something, like, I don't see anyone else who could direct this.
Funny thing is, I've moved into a transition where I'm actually quite like doing Coppa opened my eyes. I was like, oh shit, like it's more about how you take your idea or your vision of something and apply it. Like you have a script. If you resonate with that script and you're like, I love this, then you will do a good job directing it. Especially if you have a vision that gels with what the writer said. But I mean, and like that, I've passed a lot of my scripts off into the Celtic Badger Media Group and said, look, if anybody wants to direct these, they're there. Take them.
Going with what Paddy said, like it really depends on how you connect with that story when you read it. Like if someone hands you a script and is like, I'd like for you to direct this. If it's not something you latch onto, it's not gonna. You're not gonna have that same passion. Whereas if you write something and you're like, I think someone else could do a better job, or if you latch onto it, you're like, I want to direct this. I'm writing the film that I want to direct. I think it has impact both ways.
It's one of those things as well, though, where like if I to put it in perspective, you can also have a situation where somebody else has written a script and they pass it off to you. And they go like, I want you to direct this, and you go, okay, cool, that sounds awesome. And then they're like, yeah, but you're not allowed to change this, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to. And as a director, you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
You're not passing it off.
Exactly. Like, it's very hard to have a vision for something that has all these constraints around it. Like, as in, I can't imagine what it's like doing a studio film in that respect. It's like, here you go, here's the script, but you can't change anything ever.
It's like that whole Fantastic Four Josh Trank thing, where they had went in with an idea and they were like, okay, so the analogy that I think it was Kevin Smith used, it was like you hire someone to interior design your house, and you get them in. So the director would be the interior designer. You come in, you talk about what you have, what you want to work with. You pick colors for the walls, you pick furniture. You agree how much you're going to spend on it, and then a week before you're due to paint the house, they take half the budget away, and then be like, and you can't use this color, that color, this color, but we still want exactly what we agreed upon. It's like, but that's not how that works. You can't achieve what we already had if you take away all that from us. And then they were like, you'll do just fine. And then it just goes to shit. And then the interior designer, they come back to the interior designer, like, this isn't what we asked for.
They're like, well, you cut our budget.
Yeah.
Would that be the reason why Hollywood films are so bland cinematography wise? Mainly.
They can be. Like, I mean, it depends on one, who's shooting it and how much power they have. Because if you go and hire someone like Chivo
or Roger Deakins,
you know that, like, because Roger Deakins is a really good example, especially with the new Blade Runner.
Yeah, still haven't seen it. Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it, but the original Blade Runner was known for its cinematography and its looks and its style, and it was all shot anamorphic.
Which
huge thing. Roger Deakins doesn't shoot anamorphic. That's his style has always been spherical lenses. So when they brought him on, they were like, is this going to be the first film that Deakins shoots anamorphic? No, he shot spherical, but he gave it that same feeling somehow with shooting with spherical lenses.
You were saying possibly a lot of post work to give an anamorphic vibe.
Yeah, I think they might have used anamorphic filters on some of the lenses just to add some
but it was something
distortion.
That really caught me because I was like, I can't wait to see it because, like, Roger Deakins doing anamorphic is going to be amazing, and then you're like, it's not anamorphic. I was like,
yeah, I know, but it still looked amazing.
I know, yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you're hiring someone,
you can imagine that 98% of mainstream people going to cinema don't give a shit.
No, they don't. They don't like one bit.
They're not like, I wonder if this is spherical or anamorphic.
Daddy's Home 2 shot on anamorphic.
But if you're hiring someone like that because you like their style, you're going to kind of give them a lot more leeway.
Yeah.
Whereas with a Hollywood studio, if they're like, we're bringing on this director and the director wants to bring on his cinematographer, then it's kind of like, okay, but you have to kind of keep it constrained. So I'd imagine it depends on how much pull you have in the industry, I'd say.
It's a tricky one, to be fair.
But first,
Then again, I've never been that side of it. Nobody's been offering me 2.2 million to make something, so I don't know why I picked that
If you're
figure.
Roger Deacon good, I'm sure they'll just go, you just do your thing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's...
They won't though. Not for your first thing. The best
Oh.
example for that is Fincher. Like going back to Alien 3. Like David Fincher, who now commands almost probably, I would say, second only possibly to Chris Nolan in
Yeah.
terms of just.
Yeah.
It's David Fincher. Here's a checkbook. Just write what you want.
You put whatever figure in there you
and,
need.
like that's Fincher commands that kind of response, or like thing in Hollywood. But like I remember reading all the horror stories with Alien 3, like him coming in, he was possibly one of the most celebrated music video directors of the 80s, and then like he came in and it was legitimately just like 6 producers around him at any one given moment just being like, no, you can't do that, no, you gotta change that, no. Blah blah blah. They're all on Prison Planet now, but you said they were monks before. Not Prison Planet now. Prison Planet's trending better with the test audience. What?
Like make more Lego sets with a prison man.
I hate test audiences. I think it's the stupidest idea.
Yeah, I don't know where they get these people. Like, that test, so they test everything fucking A1, thumbs up, and then it's like,
Muck.
what is this?
But that's why I'm curious to watch Zack Snyder. We're gonna go back there, guys. We're going back.
Buckle up.
At the very start of this podcast, can you cut into so you do VFX for it where I appear and I'm like, you're gonna keep talking about Justice League during the podcast. Don't know what happened. And they go back.
I'm not doing that.
It happened. Don't worry about it. You just didn't see it.
If you, it was done in the style of Flash. It was so fast you didn't even see. I'll put in one Flash frame, and it's literally just a frame of the Flash. Like,
oh, Flash frame.
yeah.
But
There used to be a still of Sheldon Cooper in the Flash.
Bingo, bizarre.
But what I find is that like that I would like to see the 2 hour 50-minute cut that test audiences said was rubbish, that they then greenlit
All the reshoots.
this 2 hour fucking turd that I witnessed in the cinema.
Jumping back a little bit to what you were saying about like writing and stuff like that, and writing and wanting to direct, and you talking about like ideas and people like not wanting to let them go. Now is a good time to announce me and Mikey are working on Ordinary Man, and so that's going to be my first feature to direct. And going back to the whole writing process, me and Mikey have sat down because it was Mikey's original idea. We sat down and we talked about a lot of plot points and, you know, a lot of the kind of same beats that you were talking about in The Perished, and kind of hitting the major beats of like, why does this character do this and why does this happen, and
Motivations and stuff
like that. And yeah, when we were talking in the house the other day and you mentioned a couple of ideas, so I was like, yeah, that could work, and it's like, that probably won't fit, and it was like, I won't know until I actually sit down and physically write it. But yeah, you were pretty open to the idea of like, if it doesn't fit, just don't put it in, like, and we'll make it work. And so that was kind of cool to get that, you know, feedback back and forth.
You see plenty of movies where stuff clearly doesn't fit in.
Yeah.
And it's in it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta dig up a corpse, throw it in a pool of water, throw a cube at it.
We can't
Which
go back
will
there.
happen in Ordinary Man.
But
It won't happen till Ordinary Man 3.
yeah, I'm writing it, so no, it's not happening. But yeah, no, and it was just cool to get that, like, well, if it doesn't work, I'm not putting it in just for the sake of it. And you were like, yeah, okay, cool. So that was nice.
Out of all of this, I realised that we let Derek get away without his top pick though, because it was like we were
Oh,
on
shit,
top
yeah,
pick,
top
and then
pick.
But no, he was talking about the play.
yeah, but
I'll throw in a top pick. What I've been watching. I've been reading A Picture of Dorian Gray.
oh nice, the Oscar Wilde,
The Oscar Wilde
yeah.
original book. I'm only about 8 or 9 chapters in. Very good.
It is, yeah,
really
it's
straight.
awesome.
The characters are supposed to be straight, but they're so homoerotic.
It's an Oscar Wilde.
It's an Oscar
yeah.
Wilde way. Like, yeah, they're extremely homoerotic.
I mean, the actual lead, well, the character of Dorian Gray is incredibly homoerotic. I find.
oh, extreme.
Yeah.
Like even the first scene when he opened up, he was talking about like, oh, I've met this man and he's so amazing, and he's all this stuff. Oh, he's my best friend. I'm like, no, you're gay.
Oh, I remember reading it years ago. I went into this stage where I bought a rake of like Penguin Classics or whatever they were, and I bought like Dracula, Frankenstein,
big
Picture
ones.
Dorian Gray. Yeah, I was like, okay, I want to read these because these are the ones. You know, you hear everybody rave about these, so there has to be substance to them.
Yeah.
It can't just be a thing. And I remember reading Dracula and being fucking blown away by it. I was like, this is actually an incredible book. Like, it's because the way it's even, I don't think before that stuff had been written in that format, like a diary, like a journal. And I thought that was amazing. And then Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, I was like, this, the closest adaptation to that book that exists is the one from the 90s with De Niro. Like, is it Francis Ford Coppola? I know he did Dracula, but then there was a Frankenstein with like Robert De Niro as the monster, Kenneth Branagh, Helena Bonham Carter. It was like a really big budget one at the time and everything. But like everyone was like, this isn't Frankenstein because he's not like big and green with balls and stuff. And I was watching it going like, this is exactly the book. Like, this is 100%.
That's my big pet peeve is like, oh, Frankenstein, like that's not Frankenstein, that's Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah. I love that reminds me of a Rick and Morty joke in the episode with the memories, the parasites. It's like, I'm going to tell you a secret about Frankenstein. He's not really Frankenstein. He's Frankenstein's monster. He's just like, it's glorious. Awesome.
And Sylvester.
Shout out to My Hero Academia. It's an anime. I don't know.
What?
My Hero Academia. I've been getting back into anime for some reason. My Hero Academia. It's a really fun show to watch. If you ever get a chance to watch
Is it about how the process of learning makes him a hero?
It fucks with that process though.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it's set in a world where 80% of people are born with some sort of quirk, which is essentially power. But it's become so like normal to have a power that usually if you've like, let's say you've got an electricity quirk, you work in an electric plant now.
Yeah.
That's your thing. And he's one of the few people who's born without one. He's born without a quirk. And essentially there's another guy called All Might. He's the biggest hero in the world, big popular guy. And he's like, gonna be honest with you, I was born without one as well. So he passes on his power to this kid, which is the strongest power, and it's just basically him becoming a hero.
Okay. That sounds really wicked.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Shazam,
It's fun, yeah.
the movie.
No, it's funny enough. I haven't gotten back into anime recently, but because I'm getting back into JRPGs, it's a slippery slope.
It's only a matter of time.
It's a slippery slope to self-hatred.
It's like I've started with Persona 4 and I'm going to end up at like 3 o'clock in the morning watching Crunchyroll being like, what am I doing with my life?
Hentai ghosts.
No. But
not
yeah,
go back
I'm trying to think. I played this. Did you play this terrifying Steam game called Doki Doki Literature Club?
No, but I've heard of it.
It's free to play. I saw like a guy doing a let's play of it on like this site I follow called Rely on Horror that covers horror video game stuff, and I was watching these like let's play in the window and I'm like, that looks like a Japanese visual novel, like you know what? And next thing I like opened it and your man was like, this apparently gets like really scary, and like everyone else fell out of the like let's play because it went on for ages, and I was like the only person still with him because I was like, dude, I'm making a visual novel at the moment, so like this is cathartic for me.
Yeah.
And it gets so dark and so horrible that like I remember just being like, I'm traumatized watching this let's play, let alone even actually fucking playing it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's well worth. It's free. It's on Steam for free. If you want to fuck your shit up, fuck your life up, check out Doki Doki Literature Club.
I think I have the best Steam name of anyone here.
What's your name? Well, mine's shit, so that's fair enough.
What is your Steam name?
It's just Petty Base, because yeah. So
Oh, basically. Do you have Steam?
No, I'm not Steam.
you're on PlayStation. Yours is great on PlayStation.
What is it on PlayStation?
Baz not a gamer because I'm not really a gamer.
Mine is Long Dong Sad Boy.
Long down.
And my picture.
Are we friends on Steam? I think we are.
No, the picture is it's a Pepe but done in the style of Picasso.
Long down sad boy.
Yeah.
That's yeah. That brings us to Mikey actually. So you
Sad boy McQuack.
yeah you.
I was thinking the Long Dong.
Yes, I will.
So you've become quite a kind of a YouTube sensation of late,
Not really.
with the character of Sad Boy McQuack.
I'll laugh in 2 episodes. Yeah.
You released all your movies to YouTube and stuff though.
Yeah.
So like if people want to check out your stuff, they can just go and see it online.
Yeah, just Don't.
No, I'm quoted as having said that the marvelous Spider-Man is one of the greatest feats of modern cinema.
Which it was.
Skip the Marvelous Spider-Man. Go watch the 20-minute edit of James Core going super duper.
Yes, that is the best part of that film. I kind of stopped doing the YouTube stuff because I was there like, I'll try to do like a video each week, like, you know, just do something like that just to keep me busy. But then I shot, I think, like 3 more videos because like I just edit them like as I go. And then I got a call to go get like my jaw surgery, and I was like, okay, yeah, grand. I'm like, when I'm recovering from that, I'll just edit the videos since I'll be stuck at home all the time anyway, like for like 6 weeks. But basically, my camera account went a bit faulty because I had planned making a video and I was super sold and got sad boy got fat. And, like, I think I have footage. The only clip I have is just me with like these massive jowls, and I just go, she thick dough. But
Where's Vibe when you need it?
yeah, but basically, after that, I was basically like all the fucking painkillers. I was just off my face for like 6 weeks, and not being able to eat solid food really fucks with you after like 2 days. So I just kind of never bothered editing. I just kind of like lied on a couch for most of it, and it was like a human bobblehead trying to lift my head up. But yeah, it was a fun experience.
We'll put a picture of Mikey with his swollen jaw in the
before and after. You said that you quoted something over Spider-Man, but we also have some back of the box quotes for results night. What a segue!
Segue, Kevin James.
Someone called Paul Blart Malcolm because I got a brand new segue.
No, disclaimer: these are not real quotes. They're not by the people that we say they're by.
Oh God!
Just to clarify that.
Skip 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, there are a few that I'd save, but I'll start with. It wasn't entirely shite. Nicholas Berman Vince. We need our eyes bleached. The Soska Sisters. I hate results night as much as I hate myself. Mikey Casey. This is real movie. Tommy Wiseau. That was Mikey. This is me. I yearned for death before realizing I was already dead. Modern cinema. My mustache has more talent than this cast. Henry Cavill. There are literally so many of these, but I'm just going to go through. Brian O'Regan could be the new Stephen Tuberty. Brian O'Regan. Your mother's hating it.
Sounds like Tim.
This is one of my favourite ones, which is no, I can't read your one below that, Mikey. But this one.
Pass the phone over. I won't say it out loud, like, so I know what it was.
This is one of my favourite ones. It's just so stupid. This isn't fucking Scott Pilgrim, disgruntled person in screening advertises the showing of Scott Pilgrim.
You show me what might not. I'm not going to read it. You can read that out. It's fine.
No. I'm in social care, John O'Connor. I watched Results Night, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, my personal favourite. I'd fuck Derek Williams if he wasn't so goddamn old, Kevin Spacey.
Yep, that's in there. Oh no, we can't say that one. Wow. Mikey Casey used to be cool, Luca Doherty. My favourite is from Phoebe Murphy, my daughter, via Mikey, which is I wish I wasn't born in a world where Results Night exists. Phoebe Murphy. She said that. She said that. Mikey Casey is the real war on terror, the New York Times. So those are just some of the amazing passcodes from fictional celebrities all over the world.
The rest of them you can read in the behind the scenes. There's 3 don'ts on DVD now.
It was weird though, because you leading me on that segue, there was something I was going to ask you. It kind of went back to your videos, your like Marvelous Spider-Man. You did a trilogy first, which was Marvelous Spider-Man,
Autumn Falls.
And the Batman thing?
That's not canon. I consider Tom and Mick the end of that.
Okay,
movie.
cool. Because
That one was just no. We don't talk about that.
I thought of it. Watching Brian O'Regan pre-intervention trying to do an English accent was incredible.
But Derek going, oh gee, well it hurts.
But yeah, I don't know. How did you get into it? How did you get into film side of things? I know you both come from theatre backgrounds.
Yeah, both theatre.
Yeah, both theatre.
Well,
Is that how you met?
me and Derek were doing that summer camp.
No, it was when we met.
Oh yeah, well when we first met, we were like working
Sicilians.
on we were working on Oliver Twist with Sicilians as chorus members, and we bonded over. We bonded over a meme.
Oh no! Why am I not surprised?
Oh, hello my baby, hello my honey, hello my ragtime girl. And then
Is that a meme?
Memes bring people together.
And then basically we were both
Like
friends with
Nokia.
Robert Burke.
Robert who
Lennon
played John in the
in
Murray
Murray
Boys.
and he was planning on making a movie, and that didn't go ahead. But then when we did the summer camp with Nigel, where we met you, Nigel told us, he was like, just go out and make movies, like, and we were like, yeah, fuck it, like, we have all summer. So we said we just make one. It was like a week after Tom Holland had been announced as Spider-Man, and so we don't know this guy, let's just make our own. We'll make our own movie, Mark.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and then basically Derek just got stuck with me then, and we're to the end. Why did my wife leave? But
Hashtag bromance.
yeah, the
They start so young these days.
concept of results night then was at my sister's 21st at like 3 a.m. We were both really drunk, eating curry.
Rice, no, just plain rice.
Oh, just plain rice. Yeah, we ate.
Curry was gone. So
We
just
ate
eating
all
plain-
the, we ate all the curries and then we just started eating the rice.
I'm pretty sure at one point we were literally eating the rice out of the rice cooker.
Yeah, we were. But like we were sitting down and we were like, man, we made like 3 or 4 like short films or sketches or whatever. And then we were just like, I'll make a feature, fuck it. And then we were going to make, I was like, oh, we'll do one like grads night or something like that, because that's easy. And we like Googled like movies about graduation night, and there's like 1,000 results in there. Cause like Google results night, we tried to say there are no results, and we were like, yeah, we'll do that one. And then we just said a load of random shit. We wrote it down, and like 2 weeks later, I found it on my laptop. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was basically just a bunch of jokes that somehow got narratively twisted together to make a semblance of what seems to be, I'm still not sure, what seems to be a movie.
To be honest, I think that's the way for it. Honest, I mean, with the don'ts, it was a similar process. It was a short that was like, well, that was good, and then it was like, oh, and there's these other ideas, and then it was like, cool, so let's tie them all into one big feature. And then it was like, okay, but that doesn't work and this doesn't work, and so let's just keep changing stuff. And now with the 96-minute cut of the don'ts that there, it's like, I don't know, I never saw it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's weird how like so much can change when writing them, like, because we did like 4 or 5 drafts maybe, and I think it wasn't until like the last one, which we were writing while we were already started shooting it, like we have the first 10 minutes done, so that'll be the first 10 minutes, don't go change anything. And I think then we like wrote in a character for Timmy O'Loughlin, because we were like, something's missing, Tim's not in the film, throw him in.
And then he became a pivotal character.
Yeah, I don't know how, like, he's going to be in for like 2 scenes, and then
It's funny
same
that
with Calvin Walsh.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was meant to be in it for 1 scene, and I was like, Calvin, that was beautiful to just be in the whole movie.
it's funny that like you made a feature before Celtic Badger did.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty fucking cool.
It was a very rushed feature though.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah, but I mean, it's still like you went out and you did it. Like Tubbs did the same. Tubbs went
did,
out.
yeah,
Tubbs
true.
made a feature just because he was like, I want to tell this story, and he went out and did it.
But
Timeline wise, just to get this straight in my head, I remember you coming up to me after the screening of the short of the 3 don'ts in the audio.
Yeah.
You came up and you were like, dude, like, what the fuck, that was awesome and stuff. And I was just like, who is this kid? I like him. You were like, we met at summer camp. You were like, the shades. Do you remember me? Yes.
Here's my headshot.
But that was pre-results night?
Yes.
Yeah.
It would have been 2 months after that was my sister's 21st, where we
Came up
got
with the
idea.
concepts and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I'm trying to remember because I remember when we did your initial shoot with the 2EE. I love that of the barn scene, the people that carried over really into the main film were you. Like you have a cameo in the main film. You're in it. O'Regan. That was it. I mean, Tubbs was already in his padding and stuff. But like of the rest of the assorted group of people in that church barn scene, it was like you guys came back.
All bets are
But
off.
that was April 2016.
I almost said 18.
Yes,
So that's
same
the
here,
deal.
for some weird reason. It was April 2016.
2016.
Wait, was Results Night?
Result-
No, Results Night was 1 year before that.
It was
No,
April 2015, was it?
It was because we did in 5th year. I remember starting 6th year.
You were in 5th year. I was
But you were in
sixth
6th year.
Yeah, so I'm in college now, so I did my leaving cert 2017. So it would have been
Yeah, 2016. So.
no.
Because I did my leaving cert 2016.
You were doing it while you were doing your leaving
Yeah,
cert?
I was very clever.
Yeah, 2016.
And I made a feature film while I should have been.
yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like it was the end of April we started shooting. We shot like one scene outside of Spare, and then we shot 2 or 3 bits in May. We shot me, Stephen, Clancy, and Jack the day before. Not only my leaving cert, but Clancy's leaving cert. We shot like 3 scenes.
Oh, I remember the Spark scenes.
Yeah.
They were good shit, man.
The audio recording for the very first one was so fucking.
It was so awful.
Bad. It's all it's
Yeah.
fucking in cam. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
But it's
going back
funny.
to what you were saying about like, just you made a film before like Kelly Badger did. It's just that thing of like, just go out and do it. Like
Yeah.
we had no
I like
money.
that.
We had no budget. Like I think Olivia O'Malley was counting up all the prop money we spent on like.
So
And
it
it
was
wasn't
a
even,
tenner.
it literally was like 50 quid. So it's like the full budget if you were to take what like the camera and the mic cost, you're only looking at like €700 on a feature.
But I mean, there's a lot of big films. Like most recently, Steven Soderbergh did one on $100 and stuff.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I saw Robert Rodriguez has gone back.
Yeah, he's gone back to
He's
the
doing
indie.
another one for $7,000.
Yeah.
What I love is the most expensive prop in the film is the dead
fish.
fish because we had to buy 3 of them because they kept rotting. And we're like, we can't have
wait.
a rotting fish.
So objection. When was your birthday thing that we showed you the 3 don'ts at?
My birthday.
Yeah.
Was May 2 years. It was my 30th, so it would have been May 2 years ago.
May 2016.
Mm.
3 don'ts was done before Results Night. Go fuck yourself.
I apologize.
I just wanted to do that. I really don't care. But it was just way too much fun to be like, I'm being Batman right now. I'm detectiving the shit out of this.
You don't budget. I was watching something the other day. I found it's interesting. It was the guy who's directing the next Star Wars, number 8.
Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
His first film, Brick. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah. I was like, oh, it was on a small budget, so I looked up how much the budget was. 400 grand.
I thought it was less than that.
No,
because he had Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He had Joanne. She was kind of a big name. The actress that was in it. He had that guy who played the baddie in it. I can't think of his name. Elias. Oh, he's like a big enough actor as well.
I'd probably know him to say.
Yeah, you totally would. He was in a My Chemical Romance video. He was in the video where they're carrying the guy in the bed. Black Parade video. Yeah, he was the guy in the bed.
Well, we had Graham Gill.
Yeah. We're on par with Star Power.
Your move, Star Wars.
Results Night versus Star Wars coming 2022.
A feature with the budget of €50 versus the highest grossing movies of all time.
Well,
We can do it.
we have originality, goddamn.
Did you ever see Rian Johnson's first film, Break?
I just watched a video about it, and he was just like, it's basically a noir movie set in a school.
Yeah, it's the type of film that I should love. Like, it's the type of film that like anyone who meets me is like, you know what, you'd love Brick. It's so your kind of film. I fucking hate it with
What,
a
seriously?
vengeance. I once threatened to try and go out and find every copy of it and burn them because it just offended me.
I heard it described
so
as like
much.
the filmmaker's film.
I fucking hated it.
What's wrong with it? Like,
Oh, like that scene with the baddie and they go into the kitchen and his mum is making them fucking Sunny Delight. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I can't handle this. What's weird is I love Looper.
I love Looper.
I loved Looper.
I thought the way they dealt with time travel in Looper was.
But
very
I don't have
clever.
any issues with Rian Johnson. Just that movie rubbed me the wrong way. You were talking about your Bebo profile when you showed us the picture of the meme, and you were like, "This is my Bebo profile." If you went into the like about me section, it just said, "I fucking hate Brick."
So you weren't talking about the character from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh no, I love that, and I love Brick from Anchorman. But no,
Where'd you get a hand grenade?
it's so weird. Now maybe it's one of those things where 11, 12 years later I could sit down and watch it and go, you know what, now that I've started making films I can appreciate this a lot more. But I remember at the time, because I worked in Extra Vision, everyone was like, you'd love this, it's such a you movie, because you're like, you're a pretentious cunt, you'd love this. And then I watched it and I was like, I'm so pretentious that this offends me.
Did it gargle your grundle?
Grundle, man.
Grundle.
Now I definitely have to cut that out. But Rian Johnson must have done, or Rian Johnson must have done pretty well if he's doing his own Star Wars trilogy.
He's getting his own trilogy.
He's getting his own trilogy, taking outside of the main
canon.
The main, say, Skywalker storyline.
It's going to be some like expanded universe.
Yeah. So he's going to do his own trilogy.
Like 10, 11, 12? Or?
No, completely
it's
standalone.
You know, in the same way, like Rogue One is kind of a standalone.
But this won't be like a Star Wars story. It'll be a whole separate trilogy.
Oh, right.
So it'll be canon, but it's not going to be directly related to the story.
Exactly.
It's not going to be called like Star Wars.
It'll be Star Wars, but it won't be like.
It'll be Star Wars, but
it
won't be an episode, and it'll just be. It'll take place in the universe, but away from all the main.
I hope it's just
players.
called Star Wars 1. So everyone's like, wait a minute, what?
Let's hope Darth Revan is now canon.
Oh, from the Knights of the Old Republic games, hell yeah. Game reference. Game
Cool.
nerds, yeah.
Let's pray.
That's not a gamer.
Darth Revan is just better Darth Vader.
Yeah, basically. So actually, anyone who hasn't played Knights of the Old Republic, it's on Steam. Get it.
It's really easy to run as well. You could have a PC that's literally like a shitbox and you'll run it.
We're at an hour 40 almost.
Well, so we got to do a rant. Wait, we got to say it first.
Yeah.
So
So we're
you
moving
can
into
join in.
our new segment called.
Not a new segment, our most popular, our most exquisite, our most featured, our most beloved segment.
I meant new segment, as in moving away from the previous segments, but whatever.
Grundle.
I'm getting mad now.
Okay.
Who's that Grundle?
Oh, okay. Let's leave that word out.
Moving on to this segment, which is called
Random things! Yeah. I think I clipped.
It's awesome.
That's okay.
You didn't say objects. That's good.
Yeah. I said random
It
objects.
became a thing.
I was about to make a very sexist joke there.
Oh wow!
I'm glad I held myself back from doing that.
Mikey, I can see you reaching into your
I'm
bag. If
trying
you want to go
find
first,
where my
It's just gonna
random.
be a Spider-Man costume.
Oh, I've got a few things here now.
it's okay. Don't take them out yet. Mikey's going first.
Okay, so this is my random thing.
Oh my god! That is
Shit! Get it away from me! I have a fear of like statuettes of birds.
Do you want to know what it's called?
Casey?
What?
It's called the Frenchman.
Yes.
Wait, is that a sword or is
It's a
sort of-
sword.
That's
it's
a sword, yeah. My good god, that is.
Wait, what is he? Fucking hands! Give me that.
He has hands.
That upsets me.
It looks like he has a hand and a wing.
I can't deal with this.
You know, right under the wings, they have like really little hands. But
Yeah,
under the
but-
wings, yeah.
It's like I saw this.
Can they actually like pick shit up with them?
Not really, like they don't have posable thumbs.
So they just have fingers.
Basically.
That is awful. That is awful.
Like they couldn't hold a sword.
Oh, right.
It's actually called the Frenchman. How strange is that?
I
That is very random.
named him Pierre Baguette.
He belongs to the Badger Banter cave now.
He looks so sinister with his
does.
little slanty eyes.
Oh,
Well, racist.
No, like I mean they're slanted. Look at them.
I think you mean they're kind of like half closed. Like,
Yeah, there could be, but I don't see an eyelid.
Okay. Moving on. That's actually pretty random. You get 3 random boys. Good job.
Yes, I've won the game.
Is there any story about him, or is it just something random you found in your house that you brought with?
Well, he's father to a dead child, husband to a widow wife.
Sounds like a tragic backstory.
Yeah, well, no, in like 2014, I went over to a really shitty part of England called Somerset. Where
Somerset isn't shitty.
Oh no, this was like shitty.
We're sorry if you're from Somerset.
If you're from Somerset, I feel bad for you. Yeah, I went over for my cousin's wedding, and it was at one stage we went to a town called Bath.
I love Bath.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
And in
It's all
Bath,
sandstone.
I walked into the shop, and there was just this guy behind the counter, and he like yelled at me. It's like, you. I turned around, he's like, £2. And I was like,
So
it was like £2 for a pigeon with a sword. I'm in.
That's a good deal, bro.
I am sold.
I feel bad that I never asked like what's the catch.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I haven't died yet, so it's not.
So that's a
bad.
plus.
If it is cursed, it's just like giving me crippling depression. But yeah.
Would you bring it around us then?
So you can suffer together.
Oh yes, give me all that crippling depression.
So yeah,
I have osteoporosis.
I named him Pierre Baguette.
Did you know he was called the Frenchman?
No.
That's really funny
I
if
was-
that's the case.
am a bird. I am a
I have a good day.
It's not that word.
Yeah, it was just then when I was told, oh, bring a random thing. I walked into my room and I just looked on the shelf. I was like, that's certainly
Do you
a
think?
random
Do you think there's some kind of like metaphor here? Like you feel like you want to fly, but you have hands instead of wings.
I feel like
And your sword is stuck in the ground.
what this resembles to me is
It's a bird with a sword.
no, what it resembles to me is I like hats, but also what it resembles is, you know, I want to be a feminist, but I'm just too privileged.
You said resembles instead
Yeah.
of symbolizes.
You said it like 4 times as well, which was amazing. I laughed every time. What this resembles to me, and I'm like, it's a bird with a sword. Oh, what it resembles to me.
I don't know words.
Guess first.
I've got some choice here.
Uh-oh.
There's
Just
one-
reach in and grab
No,
one. That's not
I've
random.
got one for Barry later on. I have for you.
Wow.
a random thing.
I'm in.
So this is my Mormon calendar.
Yes.
So I have many friends who are Mormon, and they drag me along to church every couple of weeks. So I go and make very offensive religious jokes. So you have elders and you have sisters. And the thing is, when you walk around town, they're only 19. They're our age. They just want friends. So I come along and we have a bit of a laugh. And we play football together every Friday night. So we have Sister Richard and Sister Potter. One is from one's from Utah, and the other's from Missouri.
Okay.
So they're trying to get me baptized. I have no intention of getting baptized, but I'm going along with it. So I'm supposed to go to church every Sunday till Christmas. I'm going Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm supposed to be baptized January 4th. Now, the original idea was to be baptized December 22nd, but my reply to that was, oh no, I have a house party that night. Then they're like, oh, St. Stephen's Day. I was like, no, I've got 12 pubs that night. So I'm scheduled to be baptized on the 4th of January, and I have zero intention of doing it, but I'm going to play along.
So when this is
Paddy, are
released-
you ready for the baptism interview questions?
Yeah.
Do you believe that God is our eternal Father? Do you believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, the Savior and Redeemer of the world?
Say yes.
Do you believe that
Sure with that.
do you believe that the Church and Gospel of Jesus Christ have been restored through the prophet Joseph Smith?
Hella yeah. Bring me all that Joseph Smith. Didn't he come up with the theories of storytelling?
What?
Oh, sorry, it's Joseph Smith, isn't it?
Hi, I'm Joseph Smith.
What's the next question?
Do you believe that President Thomas S. Monson is a prophet of God? What does this mean to you?
Thomas S. Monson is a 92-year-old man who can barely walk. I'm surprised the man hasn't keeled over yet. Like.
But is he a prophet of God? Like?
He is. To be a prophet in the Mormon church, to be a prophet in the Mormon church, you have to be voted in.
But he's pretty close to God. If
He's basically the Pope of the Mormons. Like that's what he is.
I just realised by the time this podcast out, there's a high chance that Derek will be a Mormon.
No! I won't be one. I'm likely to be thinking of making a documentary. Yeah.
What were you?
Quick question 4. Have you ever committed a serious crime? If so, are you now on probation or parole? Have you ever participated in an abortion? Or a homosexual relationship?
Participated in an abortion? What is that?
I shit you not, that's question 4.
That's the steps. So you have to do all these things before you can get baptized. And you have to check it off as you go.
All I'm imagining now is like a woman going over to Liverpool, leave the abortion clinic, and her boyfriend is there with a medal because it's like, I participated.
I was accessory to murder.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
What's your opinion on euthanasia? They watch way too much anime.
So, like, without going too deep into the whole religion thing, what is the difference between the Mormon and the Catholic Church? Because the basic.
No,
I genuinely.
No, that's fair enough.
I don't know.
I know a lot about Mormon Church. So.
The opening couple of questions were pretty standard religion stuff.
Mm-hmm. So basically, what I can tell is, there's a family within a Nephi family. They sailed from Israel to America before Columbus populated the Americas. Then Jesus appeared around like the Texas-Mexico border or central Mexico or something. And then so this angel Moroni, well, he's not an angel, he's a prophet, but if you're a prophet you can become an angel. He took these gold plates and buried them in some random place. I can't remember exactly where it was. Was it Boston? New York, sorry. And he buried these gold plates, only to be found hundreds of years later by Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith went up the mountain. Did you see that episode of South Park?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So basically he found them and he translated these gold plates from ancient Reformed Egyptian. But he couldn't speak ancient Reformed Egyptian. It was through the power of God. So technically, and the Book of Mormon is just another testament. Not another testament, it's just like much more in depth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It has the answers to everything in it as well. That's what I keep getting told by Mormon lads.
Yeah, answers to
Well,
everything.
you're laughing at that.
random things now.
Can I just point out? This is what I need.
The names on the back.
So some of the people, Mikey, I'm sorry to say you're not invited to.
Oh no, you just write it down yourself.
You're not invited. Just accept it, alright? But Jimmy Custard.
Jimmy Custard's real name.
Jimmy Custard. Jack is going with him. Emily Waters, I know Emily. I know her sister well, Amy.
Jimmy Custard, how he got that nickname? His name is James Core.
Okay. Oh, is that James?
Oh, James
Yeah.
Core, yeah.
And we were on Discord playing some video games one night, and he's a really bad mic.
Okay.
And he came on like, "Who's this?" And
James
one of the guys,
Core.
and it's like, but he said James Core, but one of the guys, our friend of ours, his nickname is Brown, and he was like, "Who's this Jimmy Custard?" And it's just stuck.
Nice.
That is all kind of amazing.
Oh, that's really
Can I present? You can have my random thing, but you'll present it as yours. I think you like it. It's suitable to.
I can't present something I know nothing about.
Oh
but-
no,
okay.
you will. You will know
That's
something about
random,
it.
isn't it?
You will know something about it.
Okay, go on, give it to me.
Okay, go on.
This is a new trend.
People giving random things to other guests.
Like syphilis.
There it is. That's it.
Can I close?
You
Okay.
can take a look at it.
This is the University of Limerick Faculty of Science and Engineering. Oh, very nice.
I had a chemistry exam at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I
Today?
brought it. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Would you like to go through the questions with us?
Sure. I expect you to solve all these without writing them down. What's the molar mass of acetic acid?
60.
7.
129.
60 on the nose. Which of the following is not correct? The number of hydrogen atoms in one molecule of NH4 to HPO4.
What
Equals
is
9.
hydrogen?
I think.
I think that's C. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the answer is B.
Play along at home.
No, B is correct. I remember because I took it this morning. Hungover.
I'm impressed. This is pretty cool. Takes me back.
So tell us about your chemistry days.
My chemistry days.
Still
My
exists.
chemistry days still exist. I work in a lab part time. Part time? Full time.
No, part-time. You're bad, you're
My
full-time.
other job is I work in a lab. I did chemistry and pharmaceutical science in GMIT in Galway.
Commit, for anybody unfamiliar with the term.
Commit. And I did it in. I graduated in 2007, and then I got a job in Chanel, and then I kind of moved around ever since.
College dropout. Whoop, whoop.
I got my bachelor's. I didn't go any further because.
Effort. Effort.
Yeah, effort. Fuck that. Like.
The only thing I got was I did a 1 year part-time course at LCFE years ago. Before it was even LCFE, it was
Limerick
called
Seniors.
Limerick Senior College. With Simon McGuire was my lecturer. I did video production and manipulation for a year. I got like level
You're more
6.
qualified than me to make videos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was painful.
That's what we call a WAD.
It was interesting because it was a course that everybody paid for, but nobody did anything on the course I was on. Like they were I know, but it was like you paid to be here, and the lecturer would be like, "Go do this weekend," and everybody would be like, "Fuck that, I'm not doing that." And I was like, "You're paying to be here. What are you doing?"
So every college ever.
That's why I don't feel bad because I don't pay for college. The government does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
In the Kenny, you snake.
it's only a snake in me.
So what is your random thing? I want to see your random thing. Oh,
Sorry.
What was that chuckle?
I don't chuckle.
chuckle.
Chuckle on my grunt.
What you do is-
I like how random the random things are getting. They're getting far more random. Like the stuff that Rachel and Stephen had were very random because they didn't bring anything because they were from America, so they had like whatever they had in their wallets.
Like when you brought the common cold in, like that was a story
pretty
behind
funny.
it.
Yeah.
I think there was a trend of that, but I think it's changing.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like, no, wait, not that.
No,
That's
go on.
That's Robo. Brats. There we go.
The brats. Brats for the Nintendo DS.
I'm really glad that didn't stop the recording when it hit the keyboard. Brats for the Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
It was actually Bratz Diamonds.
Ooh.
It's actually the best in the Brat series.
How many are there?
Yeah.
Produced by THQ.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but who are no longer in business, wonder why.
Are they not?
No.
Oh.
I think Bratz Diamonds is the Soul Silver of the series.
I think I have.
It's unimaginably the best by a mile. Like,
I have Pokemon Pearl in
Lads,
here.
brats.
it's not bad.
Brats.
Are you taking them out of your wallet?
Theme Park, Sonic Rush, Mario.
Sonic. Gotta go fast.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to live in a world where you put a Bratz game into the Nintendo DS and it doesn't go EA Sports.
But put on the loudest earphones you can and try and play a THQ game. It's the opening.
You remember Shit Sound?
Yeah.
SHT Sound? Are they still around? Because I think Dolby kind of took over.
Dolby took over.
MGA.
There was another one as well.
Make
I can't
it great
remember
again.
called. They're a Japanese company that did a lot of audio. When we were making games for the DS, there was a company. The logo looks like a crab. It looks like a crab doing
Oh
this.
yeah,
But you had to use their audio for DS games because they were like a Japanese company.
that's weird.
I can't think of what they were called. I just remember that their logo looked like.
I always remember making fun of SHT Sound. It was like shit sound. Nah.
Clappers.
No, I'll never forget a sign I saw at Limerick before. It's one of those signs like, oh, don't stand on the chairs and don't sit at the table. And for some reason, someone changed this. I was like, don't stand in the chairs. And really, really badly wrote in a H.
Don't shit in the chair.
I don't shit on the table. And I was like, that shouldn't be funny, but I'm laughing extremely hard at it.
Limerick has some of the best graffiti. Like, there's a building and it said to let. And I saw Scumbag spray painting an eye. He's like, now it says toilet.
Didn't the whole
Limerick 20-0 actually.
Oh, that was amazing. What was the?
There was a big Limerick 2020 banner, and they spray painted out the other 20 and
just wrote nothing
actually. Limerick 20-0 actually. And the next to Limerick they also spray painted is class.
What was that thing that was on the back of like every toilet ever originated in Limerick, or if I remember, like. The
Call
Bible
this
is
number for a good time.
No, the Bible is the word of God. Amen. A priest, just, and it's always the exact same handwriting. Like this guy must have gone all over Ireland.
What did it say?
It just says the Bible is the word of God dash a priest. And it's like if you go, I've been in like Joe's Burgers, I think it's called, in like Dame Street in Dublin, and gone to the Jacks and been like, there it fucking is, like, and I think. If I remember correctly, I worked with a guy named Declan in GameStop, and we were chatting one day, and he was like, "You know the thing on the back of doors, the whole like, the word of God is, or the Bible is the word of God, a priest." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's me." I was like, "What?" I was like, "But how can you prove it? It's like someone coming up and telling you they're Banksy."
Banksy, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He's Stanksy.
Limerick.
They thought they ousted him recently, didn't they?
They did. Would they know who Banksy is now?
Did they?
Who is
Yeah.
he?
He's the lead singer in the Chemical Brothers.
I thought that was still unconfirmed.
No, I think
The Who
it was
the
confirmed.
Who
One of the
were?
guys confirmed it on the radio. One of the guys who knew, and then tried to backtrack. All Banksy paintings can be traced to when Chemical Brothers were on tour.
Chemical Brothers.
Yeah.
Don't know them.
They did like, hey boy, hey girl, superstar DJ, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
How come it was until I got to the you were like, oh, Raven. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. I've probably heard it off my head on ketamine.
Yeah, no,
Disney
they.
Channel, 'cause that's so rare.
Yeah, all of the Banksy art was discovered either a day that the Chemical Brothers were in town or a couple of days after they'd been on tour. And then another musician friend who was on the radio was talking about Banksy, and then said the name of the lead singer in Chemical Brothers, and because he was talking about Banksy at the time, and then they were like. Then he tried to completely backtrack, but
Imagine you've done such a good job of hiding your secret for like 20 years, and then some guy's just like, Johnny, oh man, like my cousin, yeah, he's Banksy. Oh shit, sorry, I didn't say that. He's not Banksy, I swear to God.
like they were talking about Banksy for like 20 minutes, and they were just talking about like his politicizing art and all that sort of stuff, and how influential he's been. And then he was like, yeah, but you know, because Ryan would be like running around or whatever, and then he'd be like, but that's like, you know, and then tried to completely cover his own tracks, and then they were like, so yeah. Your man hasn't come out and confirmed it, but they're almost 100% certain that it's him.
For anyone who doesn't know, Paddy is drawing a sperm on his copy.
It's the illusion.
You're Wensky.
Okay, so
oh, you got your random thing.
yeah, this is it.
Oh, your
It's
actual
random.
random thing.
Yeah,
Super fight.
it's a card game, kind of like
Cards Against Humanity.
similar to Cards Against Humanity, but what it is you get a character and a superhero, and a superpower, and then you have to. Everyone gets one, and you have to argue about whose is better.
Oh yes.
So, for
Just
example,
grab 4 out and we go.
Yeah.
Quick.
just 4 random ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get as random as you can get.
And
God.
Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck is Matra?
there you go. 4 random ones.
Who the fuck is Matra?
Okay.
Okay,
So-
you're fucked because I am an Amazon warrior riding a nuclear missile.
Nice.
Good luck against that.
I'm a water buffalo armed with a piranha launcher.
Yeah, it's really good, I guess. But I mean, nuclear blast.
Yeah, but you know, if a piranha eats your arm off, what are you going to do about it?
I'm Matra. Now, I'm assuming Matra is somewhat much
It's like a big giant Godzilla monster.
Okay, yeah. So you take Matra and take away its legs and replace him with machine guns. He doesn't need to walk because he's got
Oh.
wings. He can just fly over you and just shoot machine
Wait,
guns.
show me what? Mothra, machine guns for legs. Fuck, that's pretty good.
That's that. I'm pretty sure that's
And,
nuclear.
I've got King Kong, but he's really, really good at parkour. Like really
Okay.
good. I mean, you thought King Kong was good at parkour before, but now he's really, really good at parkour. Really.
That's pretty. I don't know. I think Derek still wins though because I think about it.
Machine gun legs.
Like the thing is,
King Kong can do his little, back flips off tables
first,
and
they
dabbing
have-
landings. But
Have they tried to nuke Godzilla before and it didn't work?
Yeah, but like my Amazon warrior riding a nuclear missile, right? I feel like I could blow Barry's, character up.
Not if I piranha launch at you faster.
But
I'm a water buffalo.
The
You
nuclear
can't see
missile
me.
is still gonna hit.
yeah, exactly. You can't stop the missile. Whereas I think he can stop the missile with his machine gun legs.
Well, no, I think it was.
And also Mothra was born from radiation, so I don't think.
Yeah.
You only make him stronger.
Yeah, it's like throwing milk at a skeleton.
oh my god, yes.
It's good for your bones.
Exactly.
Will we do another round of it?
No.
No, I think that's good enough. We're also almost out of time.
Almost out of time. So there's something that I ask in every episode as well that I need to just quickly. We'll try not to let it go too long or whatever. But everybody hates the question, "What's your favorite movie of all time?" So to kind of put it in a perspective that is not just what's your favorite movie of all time. What is a movie that like really resonated and stuck with you? Like, as in, it just had a massive effect on you and kind of changed how you viewed movies. Like, and it doesn't have to necessarily be something from way back when. It can be something more modern. Some examples of stuff that's been said in the past was like Arrival for Barry, Neon Demon for me. Just something that really changed your outlook or your perspective on films.
Favorite movie by a mile is Oldboy.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Great movie.
What a fucking movie.
Oh, it's so like
What a fucking movie.
the dragon pan shot
Yeah.
scene. Oh, it's one of the best scenes of all
It
time.
really is, and you could see that in like Daredevil season 1 how much they emulated from the Old Boy fight scene, with the hallway
Yeah.
fight.
Oh yeah.
But even just the twist, which we won't give away here, but
Go watch
fucking
Oldboy.
hell.
Go watch Oldboy.
Have you seen Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance as well, though?
I haven't.
I'll give you a copy of the DVD. It's worth watching. It's like that trilogy as a whole, like Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, Lady Vengeance. Lady Vengeance is my least favorite of the three, but it's still really good. Like, it's the least favorite of the three, which means it's still an amazingly good film.
Yeah.
But Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, I almost prefer to Old Boy, just because it's like one of those films where it's like, wait, who was the fucking bad guy in this and who was the good guy? Like, almost like Old Boy, you're kind of like, wait, who was I supposed to be rooting for in this? Like,
Have you seen the modern?
It's
Old
not
Boy?
good.
I haven't seen it. I
they're
never.
both I mean, the original Old Boy is like 2003, so it's not
2001,
like,
isn't it?
2001, 2003. It's not old, but it's just
Yeah,
the Josh Brolin one.
I was just curious if you'd seen it because I mean I wasn't sure.
I didn't want to see it, but out of curiosity, I watched it. I was just like,
I don't get why Spike Lee did basically what Gus Van Sant did. He just kind of did a shot for shot. Really.
Yeah.
well, he did a shot for shot, except for the best fight scene in the movie.
Yeah, true.
Not a
And
big Spike Lee
Sam
fan.
Jackson was a very odd choice for the character, and in one.
Even
part.
I kind of got Josh Brolin, but like, yeah.
And was it Elizabeth Olsen was the daughter in it? Do you know she plays Scarlet Witch?
I like the fact that like Josh Brolin isn't a huge name,
Yeah,
which I
no,
liked.
yeah.
My thing is when I first watched Oldboy, because I'd been told so much about it,
Yeah.
because I was studying like Greek theatre for a while, and basically how I described
It's
it
a
was
tragedy, yeah.
it's a tragedy.
Total
It's
tragedy.
basically a retelling of the best way, like it's the perfect telling of an Oedipus complex.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching it, and my mother came in and she's like, "They're just fucking shit. Why watch this?"
I can totally understand that.
So it only drives me to like it more. But emotionally resonant movie with me.
Well, it's actually interesting because normally, as I say, most people are just like, I can't pick one movie that I love.
Yeah,
so
it's funny
that's
that you were
impressive
like-
that you were like, I know what film I fucking love.
Emotionally resonant. Either Donnie Darko or In Bruges.
Oh wow, cool, very very cool. Because like, I In Bruges was a massive influence on the Don'ts, the set style of humor,
Fantastic
and
movie.
you know, even when you were cutting the trailer, we literally kind of almost cut it like
Yeah.
to match almost the beats in the In Bruges trailer and stuff.
Mikey.
Not too sure. Like say, a movie that I really really like would be Back to the Future.
Nice.
Because as a standalone movie, not even thinking about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trilogy, it has a beginning, middle, and an end. And even though it is part one, everything does get closed off. Like you can just watch number 1.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
leave
it.
it,
Like,
yeah.
You know, I just think it was just the way they wrote it. They were super clever about it, and just I don't know. I think it's just kind of what really got me into filmmaking, because it was like it's the same set, just you know, it's the same, like probably some Hollywood studio that they just painted to look differently
Yeah.
for 50s and 80s, but it was still like everything is like so spot on. All the casting is like.
Because they would have
There.
probably, just in theory here, shot all the stuff, let's say first 11 days,
Yeah.
or first 7 days, or 9 days, or whatever, would have shot all the modern day contemporary stuff.
Yeah.
Then got the production designers to go in, rip everything out, change it
Yeah.
up, and turn it into the 50s style,
Yeah.
and then shoot
That
it all.
movie had a really low budget. Like
It did, actually.
extremely-
It was Zemeckis, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
It
Robert
was-
Zemeckis.
it
I
was-
love as well. Just say there's so much stuff when you actually hear like everything should have gone wrong with that movie. Like the
what's his name
original
pulled
actor
out,
for Marty McFly pulled
yeah.
out.
What's his name? Eric.
Oh, you can't remember his name.
He's
right?
gone down the toilet now, like.
Yeah, but he was a big actor at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric
Then Michael J. Fox was too.
Stoltz. Eric
yeah.
Stoltz.
Michael J. Fox was too busy like filming some sitcom during the day, so all his bits had to be at night.
Yeah.
So like just you know how they had to work around everything. Just like
Every problem.
yeah, but
The
I
clock
think-
scene apparently was a nightmare
yeah,
to do.
Yeah.
The
Well,
future for Back to the Future, the
budget.
budget for Back to the Future was 19 million, and it made 381 million at the box
That's
office.
amazing.
It was Emblem, was it? Or no, it was Touchstone.
But like, that's adjusted for inflation.
I
think that is
don't know.
because at the time it was only something like is that not adjusted for inflation? Because I heard something like 4 million not adjusted.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that it was a gamble because nobody wanted to touch it because of the whole mother-son
Yeah.
kissing.
Yeah.
Apparently, they brought it to Disney, and Disney were like, "What the fuck
Yeah.
are you doing? Get out of our offices!" Like they got like angry about it, like really angry. And he was like, "It's not like he actually gets off with his man. Like Jesus,
His
calm
man tries to
down."
come on with him. That's a bit different.
Yeah, it's just like I know it's just there's something I find great about that film. How it's
No,
like
I
you can
understand
tell they knew what they were doing with it. Like you know,
Even though they didn't, because obviously,
yeah,
as you say, everything fell
everything
apart.
falling apart. But you could tell like that no matter what, like they were saying, no, we're keeping it going. We're not changing the vision of it. Like you know, we're just gonna get it done. But then I think a movie that like has stayed with me since I watched it, and I'd probably say it's my favorite movie would be Truman Show.
Nice.
With Jim Carrey.
Fucking love the Truman Show. There's so many times where I'm like, am I the real version of the
Yeah.
Truman Show?
On a quick note of everything falling apart, I showed Mikey a play last night. It's called The Play That Goes Wrong. The whole point of the play is it's this really low budget theatre company and they want to put on a mystery drama, but everything goes wrong. Like they're acting like everything goes wrong. Like there's a scene where one of the actors gets knocked out on stage and then she falls over, you can see her underwear, so someone reaches back through a window and has to hold up her underwear and that kind of thing. Like, do yourself a favour and just look up, there's a 10-minute clip of it online,
Yeah.
The Play That Goes Wrong.
Like, there's a brilliant bit like one of the actors, he's meant to have white hair, and actually he turns around, he hasn't spray painted the back of his head. So like his here's dyed grey,
Nice.
and he turns back, it's like jet black.
Yeah. Like he doesn't know his lines either, so it's one scene where he's like, he was a great man and a philanthropist.
Or when one of the characters gets knocked out, it's like they're just looking at her, what the fuck is it? So don't you agree, madam? And your one's just there knocked out.
Yeah,
And
they
then the
keep
guy's
going
like,
with her
then the other
lines.
guy's like, you must be crazy to say something like that. And she's just knocked out.
I like it.
No, if you're afraid, they have to take a dead body off the stage, so they have a stretcher. So they they can't get him onto the stretcher from the seat, so they roll him off the seat. He hits the floor. And they pull up the stretcher. It completely wrecks the stretcher. So they go off stage out the body.
And then your man just like awkwardly sits up
And
like,
walks off
backs
stage.
out. And then, like, when he leaves, the door doesn't close. He goes back to close it, and like a photo just drops on his head.
Nice.
But yeah, back to like Truman Show. Anyway, yeah, that just like blew my mind when I first saw it. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really rewatch movies much, like, but I think Truman Show is one of those I can just watch over and over again. Like.
For me, a weird one that I find is that, like, we haven't actually done our, we did on the first and second episodes films that have recently affected us and stuff, but we haven't really, because we can't really do it every week.
Yeah.
But where the fuck is I going with this? It was fucking way there because talking about, Yeah, you were saying like you could rewatch Truman Show.
Yeah.
I have loads of films that I love to rewatch. Like as I say, like Planes, Trains and Automobiles would be one of them and stuff. But I find that the films that I find affect me most are the ones that I would like never rewatch again.
Oh, God.
Because like my biggest one, thinking about it, like the film that I've watched twice in like 20 years that I consider one of my like formative films and a film that had a gigantic effect on me. But if you're like, let's sit down and watch this, I'd be like, no, I'm leaving. Is Requiem for a Dream. Like that.
Oh, that movie.
Like it just
awful.
traumatized me. I was just absolutely fucking destroyed by it. It was just like, well, so this is what crippling depression feels
You know,
like.
when I think of my favorite movies, I always separate comedies for some reason.
Yeah, I get
I
you.
always like if it was like favorite comedy, then it'd have to be like Holy Grail.
Yeah, which is amazing.
But like you just can't put
Or
it in the
Life
same
of Brian.
categories. Like,
Yeah.
you just can't. Like
No, definitely. But I also find that the films that really, really, really affect me are ones that I like never watch again because they've affected
There's
me
so much.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends. Like say, like I love like Good Will Hunting. I love Birdman.
Yeah.
Like I watched them once. I tried watching Birdman a second time. I was like, no.
Yeah,
I didn't even bother watching Good Will Hunting a second time. It's like, no, I've seen it.
it's what's in my head. I know it.
That's all I need. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's just something. I think it's more just like Jim Carrey kind of.
I haven't watched the doc yet.
He'd be one of my favorite actors. Like I don't
Yeah,
know
Jim
why.
and Andy.
Yeah, did you watch it?
No, and I
Aaron watched
It's
it. My
really
vegan
good.
watched it. And
It's
you watched
really
it as well.
good,
Yeah,
I've heard.
Clara posted up. It was like, do yourself a favor and watch this.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Just haven't got around to it yet.
I need to finish Punisher first.
I have to start The Defenders and then watch Punisher and then.
quick
Yeah.
note on Good Will Hunting: the maths in that movie is so wrong.
Oh, really?
It's really wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah, but like.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
I want one last time.
Play.
Tell us your favorite joke.
whoa.
My favorite joke, like
I don't
I
have
love.
any.
I'll give you two.
Just a joke you like.
I'll give you two because they're really short and they're really shit, but I love them. What type of pants does Mario wear?
I don't know.
Denim, denim, denim.
Oh no.
And what's the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
I don't know.
One's a large, rather heavy animal. The other's a little lighter. See, they're so bad, but I love them because they're like my go-to shitty jokes.
Go on, Mikey.
Oh God, I don't know.
I
have some
literally
bad
no
ones,
jokes. Like I'm trying to
Like
think.
mine are really bad.
Yeah, that's the whole
Okay,
point.
well, yeah, I'll give you.
Do you mean bad offensive or bad?
Offensive.
Oh no.
Oh, let's keep it more like dad joke almost.
Dad
Yeah,
joke?
that I just delivered.
Okay.
Do your best
Well, you
Norm
see,
McDonald version.
it's an offensive dad joke.
Go for it. Just go for it. Throw it out one.
Okay, so
As long as there aren't any racial slurs.
it's a three-parter. It's a three-parter.
One is a racial slur.
What?
One is misogyny.
What is the difference, Gabby, between Batman and Madeline McCann?
Oh no.
Oh no, we're cutting it there.
God. Cameras. God.
Okay.
Batman Returns.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not going to do the other ones. I'm not.
Oh wow.
That was the best of the
That was the
three.
opening one. It continues from there apparently.
Would you like to hear
let's-
them?
No.
I can, but like maybe not on camera.
No,
Why
let's,
is it so shocked?
it continues,
How are those dad jokes?
but it continues in the way that like.
Oh no, I don't. have
How do you know there was elephants in your fridge?
Yeah.
Because there was footprints in the custard. It's like, how do you fit 3 elephants in the car? 2 in the front, one, or 2 in the back, 1 in the front.
Hey, moving on. I already told you my favorite joke earlier on.
I can't remember.
What does a Swedish dog say?
Oh yeah.
Bjark, Bjark. But the other one is you'll walk up to someone and you'll go, "Oh, you into bad boys? Because I'm bad at everything."
What?
Are you into bad boys? Because I'm bad at everything.
That's a good kind of chat up line
Yeah.
one. Ooh, chat up lines are interesting. They're
I love
different
chat up
than
lines.
altogether.
Roses are red. That ass is crazy. If you were a little bit younger, you could call me Kevin Spacey.
Oh wow! Jesus.
Okay, so you want a clean segment to just kind of cut out all that?
Yeah, so I'm good. My favorite joke in the world, and it's really, really, really stupid, is just what's the coolest thing in the world? A fridge with a leather jacket. I absolutely love that.
I like that one.
That's great.
But yeah, but then chat-up lines, I remember once, and this was so awkward, I was so drunk. I was in like, there was a bar in Limerick called the High School back in the day. It was like kind of a bikery bar place or whatever, but then I was langers drunk, and a guy I knew, Will Breen, was like, that's that girl you like or whatever, isn't it? I was like, yeah. He was like, go over and talk to her. I was like, no, man, I'm too drunk. He was like, go on, what better time? Seize the moment, Murphy, go for it. So I walked over, and what I said, and it was so, like, it's not bad, it's not offensive or anything, it's just so stupid. I walked over, and apparently in a really slurred, drunken way, he said, like, I came over with the intention of saying hello and trying not to make myself sound stupid, but I said if I failed at that, I'd just say hi. Hi.
Nice.
No, my favorite.
Did it work?
My favorite.
She was like, you're Rebecca's friend. I was like, yes, I am.
My favorite one is just if you know someone, like you'll go to him and you'll ironically go, so you come here often. I think it works so more, like it just works well.
The best one I've ever seen work was a friend of mine. Now, he was a very good looking man, to be fair,
Thanks.
but he
wasn't me.
went up to the bar. He saw this girlie like
We're not
at the
friends.
bar.
That was obvious.
And he like went up to the bar and basically kind of like made eye contact with her, and then just turned to the barman and goes, can I have a glass of ice? And the man was like, yeah, sure. So I get him a glass of ice and just kind of left it there.
I think
and he just like just threw the ice on the ground and like stood on it, and then stood back, looked your one in the eyes, and goes, now that I've broken the ice, how about I buy you a drink?
Oh
yes.
And
Yes.
it works. So you know,
Do you
there's
remember in Cannes,
I do remember Ken.
the girl that came over and was like, do you have the Wi-Fi code? Was that in Cannes? Where was that?
Oh yeah, that was in Canada. That was
Yeah.
outside Beer House,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it came over and she's like, hey, do you have the Wi-Fi code for here? I was like, I don't, I'm afraid, sorry. And she was like, okay, cool, I just wanted to start chatting with you, but...
Yeah, she was like, I thought that was a really good way to just kind of open up
Yeah.
conversation. I was like, damn, that is
that
good.
was sleek, girl!
Yeah,
Was that
that's like-
Rebecca?
And when she come on to you,
No, well, no,
Oh, you
she
knew her.
ended up just chatting to her. Like, Was it Rebecca?
I don't.
Or was it the little French one?
Ilsa?
Not Ilsa. No, do you remember the French girl? No, that was the lighter. Do you remember the lighter?
Yeah,
situation? That was fun.
That was good too. It's like, have you got a lighter? It's like, no. She's like, cool, I don't smoke, but.
No, but it was also entertaining when we met them. We were walking. They were like, "Oh, do you know how to get to this party thing?" We'd met them previously.
Yeah.
Walking on the street, and they were like, "Do you know how to get to this party thing?" And Kev was like, not entertaining them at all.
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, like,"
yeah, that's-
I walked off, and they were like, "What the fuck was that guy's problem?" And we were just pissing ourselves laughing.
That was pretty funny.
It was Cannes was an interesting time.
seems like fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've only gone the 1 year. You were back this year. So
Yeah. This year was a very different experience, so.
it was more business.
What
Yeah.
did you go back with a film or just you just went over? For
I
this?
just went over to. We went over with Judd, like, and just seeing how he worked the festival is completely different to how we kind of floundered our way through the
I'd
year
say
before.
he's just so methodical.
Oh,
Like,
stop.
Oh, it's
It's
just networking.
unbelievable.
he's proper producer.
He's a
proper.
Yeah, like,
executive producer of The Three Notes, which is currently available at the3notes.com. Final
Um,
plug.
Are you going to make more films?
I don't know. Are you going to make
No, I'm joking.
I don't know, honestly. I'm just kind of taking things slowly, seeing what'll happen with my life.
So Results Night could be your last movie.
It might be, yeah.
Can't leave your last movie. At least make a short or something.
But no, it could be like, yeah, I mean, that's just some incentive, people. Go out and see Michael Casey's first and possibly last movie, Results Night. The beginning and the end.
It is the death of modern cinema.
I think to kind of wind things down though, all joking aside, you should be very proud for making a feature film at, you would have been 17?
I think so, yeah, 17. Yeah.
17, 18 at the time. Like making a feature film at that age, no experience, no skills.
How dare
No,
you?
I'm joking.
I directed Jaws. How
I
dare
directed
you?
Marvelous Spider-Man. How dare you?
I wrote Schindler's List.
I inspired Kevin Feige. I planned the whole Marvel universe.
You I incepted
your
him.
room. Yeah, you got a chart in your room and Kevin Feige just stopped by, took a photo of it and was like, there you go, Marvel universe setup. No, genuinely, like, to go out and do that, as you said earlier, and as we said about Tubbs as well and stuff, just that spirit of indie filmmaking of like, you know what, no one's gonna fucking give it to me, I'm gonna go make it myself. That is super important.
Yeah.
Because if you're waiting for budgets, you'll be waiting forever.
Lots of budget.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard of these things.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it can be quite hard to keep yourself motivated and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what making films is about telling stories, and you don't need money to tell the stories.
A great man once said that a budget doesn't come from cash; it comes from what you believe you can do, and that great man was me.
Yeah, and like Asgard's, it's a place now. It's a people, not a place. You know.
If a lot of people learn to love each
So
other, the world will be a better place
place.
to live.
So,
And on that happy note.
and Derek, any plans for the future? Mainly sticking to theatre.
Sticking to theatre for now. For now, sticking to theatre. So I'm going to finish that script.
Mhm.
Got plans to direct it in the next maybe year or so.
For a short film.
Yeah, I know a
Or
theatre piece.
theatre.
Just get some directing down, but right now it's just kind of acting. I've got my long-term goals. Goal is to get into RADA. That's the goal.
Okay.
Very, very distant goal. Extremely distant goal. But yeah, just stick to theatre for now. Just chill out.
That's good though. Yeah, keep it kind of consistent.
I like it.
So, Mikey Casey.
Come see my shows.
for just £20 a month, you can help feed a starving theatre actor.
We are very hungry.
He goes to college for acting. He's basically getting a degree in waitering.
Oh no,
Degree in waitery.
like my sister is studying business, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's great! Yeah, you're doing business. Oh, all the job opportunities." And she's working in Dublin and everything. Like, and then there's me. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm in Mary I. Oh, you're doing teaching? No, acting. And they're like, "Oh." like my nana was like, "Oh, you're doing acting, are you, Mikey? When I see you on Cruises Street, I'll throw a fiver in your cup." And I was like, "Sound that?"
Damn, that's
So
cold.
I got that. I got exactly what an actor needs. He needs everyone to be against him, so I can prove them all wrong in a
Nice.
movie made about my life.
Your next
No one
Marky
needs
Mark.
an agent.
The Disaster Artist too.
Next Marky Mark.
Yeah, next.
Yep.
On the next Tommy was I'm up and coming.
That's you're growing the hair out.
Results not is my masterpiece.
So we got to do our quick Patreon shoutouts.
Yep,
So usual format, I guess.
I guess so.
All right, so we got Aisling Healy,
Ashling!
Stephen McQuan.
Scooby!
It's been a while since we did this. I just forgot. Kelly Raw,
11!
Fighter Kelly.
Jade Murphy,
Jay!
Nicholas Vince.
The Chatterer!
I got jaw surgery just like you. Give me the chatter in the remake.
Orleigh Brennan.
The Bear!
Even though I rewrote this out, I still spelled her name
Orleigh.
with an E again, yeah, on purpose. Brian Fay,
Daddy!
Abel Garcia Cartina,
Abel!
Robert Novak,
Abel Garcia creation.
Robert Novak!
what was that?
Animal creation.
Abel Garcia.
Clara White,
Clara!
Greg Orsi,
Greg!
Oh, hi, Greg.
Evan.
Evan Murphy!
I liked it in that one, I didn't. Awesome. And Vashon Gill.
My missus!
So thanks, patrons.
We love you all.
Patrons. Thank you so much. Because genuinely, we've said it before, we'll say it again. Without the support of our patrons, we wouldn't be able to keep the space and keep doing this. So,
And Derek's agent charges €800 per the hour. So
We need more help from the patrons.
If anyone actually wants to be my agent, you know.
if we can make one request, it's the 2nd of December today, so we're when you see this it'll be later, but in the lead up to Christmas, everyone's feeling a little bit charitable, so if you can just turn to the person to your left, who might be your great grandmother or Mikey Casey or whoever it might be, and just say, will you please just throw the Celtic Banter, let's drink what I want.
Come on, pay up, man. You're giving up to this company.
We're not as invasive as the people on Cruises Street, at least.
Oh, we should totally be like the people on Cruises Street. That's how we do it.
Come on, donate to our cause. I've got $2.40 in my bank.
If you went out to Cruises Street with a bucket and like saved the badgers.
Oh
Yes.
It'd be like save the bees, but like tell them random facts like badgers are dying out. They're essential in our ecosystem.
With every motorway we build, more badgers die.
Get Evan to write a song, right? And we'll stand out on
Feed the badgers.
We will stand out on Cruise Street dressed like this, and people be like, "Wow, picture this." it's like take my hand and give money to a badger. They want to make those films and shit.
But yeah, genuinely, any supports that you can give genuinely do help. Even if you don't want to pay $3 a month, but you're like, yeah, I'll
Pay
pick
$7.
up the $3.
If you don't want to pay 3, pay 7.
Yeah, you can pay 7, you can pay 15, you can even pay 30. But if you don't want to pay any of that, you can just be like, you know what, I'll just pick up the $3, or I'll buy Retribution or Real House.
Or tell everybody about the Patreon and tell everybody about the 3 don'ts and literally
And
like
pretend like you care. I'm
Yeah.
joking, that was cold.
They say money is the root of all evil, and if you don't give us money, we'll kill Derek Williams.
Oh god.
But yeah, no, genuinely, for all the support, because the thing is, we understand as well that it sucks for our patrons that to hear us keep saying, oh, give us money, since they actually are.
Yeah.
So,
we love you and appreciate you more than
other people.
the other 7 billion people on the planet.
Yeah, you're way more important. Yeah, so that ends another episode of
Banter Banter! Peace out!
Don't throw milk at skeletons.